Chapter 2351, Another Human. The eyes of the 5 evil god tribe emperors flashed with killing intent. Boom. At this moment, Lu Ming released his aura. When everyone saw this, they were stunned again. This was because Lu Ming's aura was that of a true emperor. True emperor? When the 5 members of the evil god race saw this, they could not help but reveal looks of contempt. He was only a true emperor. Even if he could enter this place, how strong could his battle power be? One of you is here to die. One of the evil god race members sneered. The faces of Emperor Formless, Huntian, and Skyfire changed drastically. Lu Ming, let's go, let's go. Hurry up and leave, don't worry about us. Emperor Formless and the other 2 yelled in panic. Given Lu Ming's talent, he would have a bright future. They could not implicate him. However, Lu Ming looked relaxed. Long time no see, Deans. Lu Ming smiled and stepped forward, walking toward Emperor Notionless and the others. Lu Ming, hurry up and leave. Emperor Formless became even more anxious. It doesn't matter. It won't be too late to leave after I kill these foreign kinds. Lu Ming chuckled as if those alien races were lambs that he could kill at will. How arrogant. A true emperor wants to kill us? One think he's just bluffing. Let me kill him. A 1-star great emperor from the evil god tribe stepped out and charged toward Lu Ming. However, Lu Ming stood there without moving. A cold glint flashed in the depths of his eyes. Doubt flashed through the eyes of Emperor Formless and the other 2. They knew that Lu Ming would not be so arrogant. He must have something to rely on. Could it be that puppet? A thought flashed through Emperor Formless' mind. He had seen Lu Ming use that puppet to defeat the great emperor of the He clan. Die! The evil god tribes the arch held a mace in his hand and smashed it toward Lu Ming. Buzz! Lu Ming's muscles trembled and his body burst ar. He appeared in front of the other party in an instant and threw a punch. Bang! Under this punch, the other party did not have the slightest ability to resist. He was directly torn apart by Lu Ming's violent power, and his body exploded into pieces. One punch, instant kill. Emperor Formless, Huntian, and Sky Era were all stunned. The other members of the evil god tribe were stunned as well. A 1-star great emperor was killed in a second by a single punch. What kind of battle strength was this? Even an ordinary 2-star great emperor couldn't do that. Kill, die. Lu Ming bellowed and increased his speed to the maximum, charging toward the remaining evil god tribe members. In the blink of an eye, he was close to the other party. Join hands, kill him. The 2-star great emperor from the evil god tribe roared and attacked Lu Ming. The other evil god tribe members also launched their attacks. Do it. Notionless Emperor, Skyfire Emperor, and Huntian Emperor also made their moves. Their attacks were directed at the 2-star Great Emperor Realm Evil God Tribe member, preventing him from attacking Lu Ming with all his might. Boom, boom, boom. Lu Ming continued to punch out. The terrifying fist force brought about an intense spatial storm that drowned the few members of the Evil God race. Bang, bang, bang. The 3 1-star Great Emperor Realm experts of the Evil God race exploded, leaving nothing behind. How is that possible? The remaining 2-star Great Emperor from the Evil God race roared in disbelief. A true emperor could kill a great emperor as easily as chopping vegetables. How was that possible? Of course, this was just Lu Ming's cover-up. His law system was only at the true emperor realm, but his physical body was already at the great emperor realm. Otherwise, no matter how powerful a true emperor was, he wouldn't be able to kill a great emperor so easily. Of course, this was Lu Ming's intention. He had deliberately concealed his aura to shock the evil god tribe. In this way, their combat strength would naturally be weakened. Kill! Lu Ming unleashed his full power and charged toward the 2-star Great Emperor Realm Evil God Tribe member. The fate of the Evil God Tribe was already decided. Lu Ming alone was enough to kill him. With the help of Emperor Notionless, Huntian Emperor, and Skyfire Emperor, this Evil God Tribe member would not be able to escape even if he wanted to. Lu Ming kept swinging his fists. 9-colored radiance glowed. He was like an invincible god of war, completely crushing his opponent. Bang, bang, The terrifying fist force landed on the evil god tribe member's body, breaking his bones and breaking his tendons before his body finally exploded. The 5 members of the evil god race were all killed in a flash after Lu Ming made his move. This, Emperor Formless, Sky-era Emperor, and Huntian Emperor looked at each other with shock in their eyes. Previously, they had thought that Lu Ming had something to rely on and a powerful external force, which was why he was so calm. They had never expected that Lu Ming had killed 5 members of the evil god race with his own combat strength. More importantly, he had completely crushed them. He had killed 5 members of RH evil god race as easily as crushing dry weeds and smashing rotten wood. Compared to the time when he killed Wu Xiu and Wu Bo, Lu Ming's abilities had improved a little. The law of reincarnation and the law of primordial chaos had already reached a high level of mastery, so it was naturally much easier for him to kill an ordinary 2-star Great Emperor when he fused them together. 3 Deans, how have you been? Lu Ming walked over and cupped his fists. Back then, Wuxiang, Tianhua, and Huntian, the 3 great emperors, established the Yuan Mountain Sacred Academy with the purpose of cultivating the geniuses of the Yuan Mountain Sacred Academy. They were selfless. Back then, Lu Ming had also received a lot of help in the Yuan Mountain Sacred Academy. Otherwise, he would not have achieved what he had today. Therefore, he still respected the 3 Deans. Lu Ming, one didn't expect that in just over 20 years, your combat strength has already reached this level. You're already far above us. Huntian Emperor sighed. 20 years passed in the blink of an eye for a great emperor. Back when they first met Lu Ming, although he was very talented, he was just a young fellow in their eyes. He was still a long way from RHE Great Emperor realm. However, Lu Ming's ability was already above them. They could not imagine it even in their dreams. They sighed. Of course, they were also happy for Lu Ming's achievements. If not for the guidance of the 3 Deans, Lu Ming would not have his achievements today. Lu Ming smiled and said, Deans, where did you appear when you entered the realm-looking gate? Why are you here on RHE Void God Island? Lu Ming asked. We're lucky. After we entered the Overlord Gate, we happened to appear in the Tai Ching Heaven region. Those great emperor alien races were also killed by RHE's strong cultivators of the Tai Ching Heaven region. Huntian Emperor explained. What happened next was simple. Emperor Formless found Chaos Heaven and Heavenly Fire, and the 3 of them cultivated together. When the Void God Island appeared, the 3 of them came together to explore. When we first entered this place, our luck was pretty good. We also obtained some fortuitous encounters and treasures. However, some time ago, when we were about to head to RG Void Ancient Pagoda, we encountered these foreign races and were hunted down by them. Emperor Formless continued to explain. Void God Pagoda? Lu Ming was stunned and somewhat curious. This was the first time he had heard of this name. Chapter 2352, Void God Pagoda, an ancient building on the Void God Island. Seeing that Lu Ming did not know, Emperor Formless began to explain. The Void God Island was an unparalleled Taoist field. Naturally, there were many ancient ruins and buildings on it. Many of them were left behind by the disciples of that unparalleled existence, and they usually contained some treasures. As for the Void Divine Tower, it was a famous building within a large region. It was discovered by experts from both the evil god race and heaven realm at the same time. Right now, both sides were fighting for the control of the Void Divine Tower. When many people heard the news, they all rushed over to the Void Divine Tower. Emperor Formless and the other 2 had also rushed there after hearing the news. They didn't expect to encounter the evil god tribe on the way and be chased all the way. I see. Lu Ming nodded after hearing that. To be honest, he had been on the Void God Island for more than a year, yet he had never seen the buildings here. He could not help but feel curious. Lu Ming, do you want to go and take a look together? There might be many treasures inside. There might even be Heaven Dao soldiers. Emperor Wuxiang said. At the mention of the Heaven Dao soldier, even Emperor Wuxiang and the others' eyes burned with passion. The Heaven Dao soldier was too precious. Even the Celestial Emperor would fight for it, so how could ordinary people not be tempted? All right, I've been in closed-door cultivation all this time. "I'm thinking of going around." Lu Ming nodded. Emperor Formless and the other two immediately led the way. The group of four headed in the direction of the Void God Pagoda. And NBSP, their luck was pretty good, and they didn't encounter the evil god race for the next few days. 3 days later, they arrived at their destination. From far away, they could see a huge tower that seemed to be made of bronze. It pierced through the sky and reached into the clouds. When Lu Ming and the rest arrived at the bottom of the giant tower, they discovered a large number of people. On one side, there were over 100 people from the evil god tribe. On one side, there were more than 100 heaven realm beings. These were all great emperor realm existences. At this moment, the two sides were in a confrontation, swords drawn and bows bent. The atmosphere was extremely oppressive. Lu Ming's group of four swept their gazes around and discovered that the bottom of the giant tower was full of potholes. They were all traces left behind by the great battle. They even saw the corpses of the evil god tribe and heaven realm beings who had died in battle. It was obvious that a great battle had just taken place here not long ago. Many people's eyes were on Lu Ming's group of four when they arrived. "Lu Ming, it's you." A cold voice sounded. Lu Ming looked over and realized that there was a familiar person in the crowd. Lan Mo was a great emperor from the Lan family. He had been defeated by Lu Ming in the Two World Cities drill ground. There were a few other people beside Lan Mo. Their gazes were cold as they looked at Lu Ming. There was a faint killing intent in their eyes. "Are they all from the Lan family?" Lu Ming made a guess. The moment they saw him, they revealed killing intent. Lu Ming guessed that those people were most likely from the Lan family or the Yen family. Lu Ming ignored them and flew toward the Heaven Realms crowd with Emperor Notionless and the other two to join them. Some people were overjoyed. After all, the more people there were from the Heaven Realm, the stronger they would be. Lu Ming sized it up and realized that there was a huge door on the giant tower. The door was closed and did not open. Lu Ming and the rest asked around and found out that there were many arrays around the gate. Previously, both parties had attacked the giant tower, but they did not manage to break through. Later on, a conflict broke out between the Heaven Realm and the Evil God tribe, and both sides fought a great battle. However, the strength of both sides was similar, and there was no clear winner. Both sides suffered losses. Buzz. And NBSP whoosh. Not long after Lu Ming and the others arrived, the sound of air being torn rang out again. A few figures flew over. They were the people from the Evil God tribe. It was obvious that both sides had heard the news and rushed over. As time passed, the number of people on both sides increased, but they did not make a move. Both sides had similar strength, so they had their concerns. Just like that, the tense atmosphere continued for 7 to 8 days. Everyone from the Heaven Realm, "If this continues, none of us will be able to enter this giant tower. Why don't we join forces and break the gate of this giant tower first? After we enter the giant tower, we'll decide the winner." At this moment, a burly member of the evil god race stepped out and spoke. On the side of the heavenly realm, many people looked at each other, seeking the other's opinion. "I think it's feasible. It's just a waste of time. It won't be too late to kill the alien races after we enter the tower," a blue-robed middle-aged man said. This man was an expert from the Lan family. It was said that he had reached the 3-star Great Emperor realm and was one of the top experts in the Heaven realm. "I also think it's feasible," another 3-star emperor said. Soon, both sides came to an agreement. They were going to break the door of the giant tower first, then talk about other things. Both sides took up positions and started to attack from a distance. Bush, bush, bush. One attack after another broke through the void and blasted toward the gate of the giant tower. There were a few hundred great emperors on both sides. The momentum of their combined attack was terrifying. A few hundred attacks bombarded the gate. However, just as these attacks were about to land on the gate glowed and strange patterns appeared on it, forming a light shield. Boom. Boom. When the attacks landed on the light shield, they were all blocked by it. The light shield trembled continuously, but it was not broken. "Continue!" someone shouted, and everyone continued to attack. On the Evil God tribe's side, almost all of them were using their third eye to launch attacks. Beams of destructive light transformed into all sorts of weapons and beasts that pounced toward the door. On the side of the heaven realm, there were all kinds of sacred arts. The great Tao interweaved, dazzling and colorful. There were all kinds of divine abilities, dazzling Lu Ming. The formation was also shocking. So many great emperors had attacked it together, but it hadn't been broken. However, the light shield was shaking violently. It didn't look like it could last much longer. Gotcha. A moment later, cracks began to appear on the light shield. Boom. In the end, the light shield exploded. The attacks landed on the gate of the giant tower. Boom, boom, boom. The door shook, but strangely, despite so many attacks, the giant tower did not shake at all. It was as steady as a rock. Then, under the barrage of attacks, the door slowly opened. A moment later, the door was fully opened. However, behind the door, it was a blur. He couldn't see what was behind the door at all. Enter! Someone from the evil god tribe shouted and rushed in. Let's go in too. The heaven realm's people roared and rose into the air one after another, rushing towards the gate. Lu Ming and the rest mixed in with the crowd and rushed in. Hundreds of people rushed into the gate in an instant. After Lu Ming and the rest rushed into the main door, they felt as if they had passed through a misty wall and appeared in an empty space. Gotcha. After they entered, the door automatically closed. Chapter 2353. This place is... After everyone entered the gate of the giant tower, they looked ahead and were all shocked. This was because the situation here was very different from what they had imagined. Originally, they thought that they would enter the interior of the giant tower after entering the gate, but when they looked ahead, they saw that it was extremely empty. In front of him, there were mountains, and on the peaks, there were many huge palaces. This place didn't look like the interior of a giant tower at all. Instead, it looked like a paradise. There's definitely a great opportunity here. Many people's eyes lit up. Look, what's that? Suddenly, someone pointed at the sky and exclaimed. Everyone looked up at the sky and saw that there were lines of runes in the sky. Those runes were like runes, emitting a bright light. Then a teenager appeared. There's actually someone here? No, this person isn't a physical body. He's an illusionary body. The appearance of this youth shocked many people. However, they also discovered that this youth wasn't a real entity and didn't have any life aura. Haha, it's been so many years since someone came in. Now, someone finally came in. Finally, there's something to play. The teenager widened his eyes and looked at Lu Ming and the rest. He seemed to be unusually excited. Who are you? Someone asked. Me? I'm the formation spirit of this place. Don't tell me you didn't notice that this place is enveloped by a great formation? The young man smiled as his eyes darted around. He seemed to be even more interested. Formation spirit. Many people's hearts moved and they were very surprised. Only some extremely profound and powerful array techniques, and after a long period of time, could give birth to an array spirit. The array spirit had intelligence and was no different from ordinary people. I'll tell you something. Once you enter this place, you won't be able to leave. The young man continued to smile. Everyone's expression changed. Can't get out? What did that mean? What do you mean? An expert from the evil god tribe spoke with an ugly expression. If you can't get out, then you can't. You'll have to stay here for the rest of your lives. The young man pouted and explained again. I don't believe it. Since we can come in, we can also go out. As long as we break this formation, it will be fine. The 3-star great emperor of the land family shouted. Many people's eyes lit up. That's right. If they could break through the formation and enter, they could also break through the formation and leave. Everyone, let's work together to break through the formation and open the gate. The land family's 3-star great emperor called out. Good attack. The others responded. Boom, boom. On the heaven realm side, more than 100 great emperor realm experts attacked at the same time. Beams of brilliant light shot towards the door. This time, the door also shone with light, and a light screen appeared. All the attacks landed on the light screen, but it was like a sea of mud. There was no movement at all, not even a ripple. Everyone's faces turned ugly. Previously, when they were outside, they could at least cause the light shield to shake violently when they attacked the door. It was not like now, where there were no waves at all. Continue. The 3-star Great Emperor from the Lan clan roared. Everyone continued to attack, but the result was the same. There was no change at all. Everyone, let's attack together. Otherwise, you'll all have to stay here. Some people looked at the experts from the evil god tribe. All right, let's attack together. The expert from the evil god tribe nodded. In the face of such a situation, both sides had no choice but to join forces once again. In the sky, the young man was smiling as he looked on with a slight disdain. Buzz. And NBSP whoosh. This time, the evil god race and the heaven realm beings attacked together, and their momentum was extremely shocking. However, the result was the same as before. Their attacks didn't cause any ripples on the light screen. There wasn't even a ripple. Continue. Someone shouted. They kept attacking, but it was useless. It's useless. Lu Ming's expression was a little ugly and he stopped. How did this happen? Someone shouted in disbelief. Just now, they had broken through the formation outside, opened the door, and rushed in. Why couldn't they do it now? I'm telling you, I did it on purpose when you broke the formation outside. The power of the formation back then was only 1% of what it is now. The formation here can't be broken without the cultivation of the heavenly emperor realm. The young man said indifferently. What? Only those at the heavenly emperor realm can break it. Everyone's faces were extremely ugly. I can't. Someone shouted and rushed towards the door. However, he was blocked by a light screen halfway. He continued to attack, but the terrifying energy disappeared after it hit the light screen. Since we can't attack the gate, then we'll attack this formation spirit, take him down, and force him to open the gate. Someone shouted. That's right, take down this formation spirit. Attack! Instantly, at least 100 experts rushed into the sky. There were beings from both the evil god tribe and the heaven realm. Lu Ming did not move. He had a feeling that it would not be that simple. Sure enough, when the 100 experts approached the formation spirit, veined patterns appeared in the sky, and a layer of light covered the formation spirit. Over 100 experts attacked, all kinds of attacks bombarding the formation spirit. However, just like the previous attacks on the door, all the attacks were blocked by the light screen and did not cause any waves. Damn it! Many people roared, but it was useless. No matter how they attacked, they couldn't hit the formation spirit. It's useless. Just give up. Without the cultivation of a celestial emperor, we can't break this formation. It's been countless years since anyone has come in. You can stay here and accompany me in peace, huh? The young man laughed out loud, extremely excited. Ever since he had gained sentience, it had been countless years since any living being had entered. He had been lonely, so now that someone had entered, he was naturally excited. Are we really going to be trapped here forever? Some people were in despair. Only a celestial the arch could break through it. The entire Void God Island had an unparalleled pressure that prevented the celestial the arch from entering. If the celestial the arch couldn't enter, no one could save them. You don't have to think about other exits. This is the only exit. The formation spirit laughed very happily, as if he found it interesting to see the others in despair. Is there really no way to get out? Someone asked unwillingly. Of course, it's not that there's no other way. Back then, my master, who was also the one who laid down this formation, left a way out. At this time, the formation spirit pondered for a moment and said. Everyone was ecstatic. What way out? Someone asked excitedly. As long as there was a way out, there would be hope to get out. As long as there was hope, there would be a way out. Everyone's eyes were on the young man, waiting for his answer. Chapter 2354. Let me tell you, Master left 8 array discs here. As long as you find the 8 array discs, you can open this door. The young formation spirit said. 8 formation discs? May I ask where the 8 formation discs are? Someone asked. In these mountains and rivers, in this palace. The young man pointed at the mountains and palaces in front of them and said, there could be formation discs in all of these places, and all 8 of them are in different locations. Alright, well, go get these formation discs. Someone said. Even though this place was vast, it shouldn't be difficult to find the 8 array discs. Wait, don't worry, still have one more condition. The formation spirit's gaze turned, and it swept toward the evil god race and the heaven realms people. You people should be divided into 2 groups. My condition is that only one group of people can go out. In other words, only one group of you can survive and collect the 8 array discs before leaving this place. After saying this, the formation spirit laughed very happily, as if it was looking forward to it. Only one group of people can get out alive. Many people were shocked. Boom, boom. At this moment, everyone exuded a shocking aura and killing intent as they looked at each other. Just in time, let's kill all these heaven realm beings and get out of here. Someone from the evil god race maliciously spoke. Kill us all? You're the ones who will die. On the side of the heavenly realm, there were also people with cold killing intent. The 2 sides were already at each other's throats, and now, with the formation spirit setting such conditions, the situation could be imagined. Instantly, the smell of gunpowder filled the air. Kill! You're the one who's going to die. The people closest to each other from both sides suddenly started fighting. It was like a fuse that instantly ignited the entire scene. Kill the evil god race. Kill all these heaven realm bastards. And NBSP, the people from both sides charged at each other and began an intense battle. The scene continued to rumble. In the next moment, someone cried out miserably as he was killed. Lu Ming, Emperor Notionless, Huntian Emperor, and Skyfire Emperor were also engaged in battle with a few members of the evil god tribe. However, Lu Ming did not unleash his full power. He realized that the difference in combat strength between the 2 sides was not big, so it should not be a life-and-death battle now. Sure enough, after fighting for a while, more than a dozen people from both sides died in battle. The experts from both sides retreated one after another and began to confront each other. The strength of the 2 sides was about the same. If they continued to fight, they were afraid that both sides would suffer losses, and at that time, no one would be able to leave. The 2 sides confronted each other, swords drawn and bows bent. In my opinion, let's go look for formation discs first. Also, there must be some opportunities in this place. Well, find the formation discs while looking for opportunities to kill the alien races and weaken their strength. Then, annihilate them all. That's right, I think it's feasible too. If we encounter any opportunities, it can also enhance our strength. Then, it will be much easier to kill the alien races. Some people were discussing in secret. In the end, the heavenly realm came to an agreement. However, the evil god tribe seemed to have a similar thought. After a short confrontation, both sides retreated. Let's go! And NBSP in the end, the evil god race members headed to the right and charged towards the mountain and palace. Let's go too! The people from the heaven realm rushed to the right. I hope you guys have a good time. In the sky, the young formation spirit revealed a smile of anticipation, and with a flash, he disappeared. Lu Ming and the group flew for a distance. Wait a moment. Suddenly, someone called out. Everyone stopped and looked at the person who had just spoken. It's him! Lu Ming's eyes flickered. It was the Lan family's 3-star great emperor who had asked everyone to stop. Brother Lan, what's the matter? Someone asked. Among us, there are some who are not qualified to walk with us. The 3-star great emperor from the Lan family, the middle-aged man, said coldly as he looked at Lu Ming. Lu Ming's eyes flickered, and the faces of Notionless Emperor, Huntian Emperor, and Skyfire Emperor darkened. The rest of the people also looked at Lu Ming and the rest with a look of realization. The feud between Lu Ming and the Lan family was widely known in the Heaven Realm. Not many people did not know about it. Now, the Lan family was going to make trouble. Lu Ming, you guys should leave. You're not welcome here. The middle-aged man from the Lan family said coldly. At the side, Lan Emo sneered and stared at Lu Ming coldly. The people of the Lan family did not dare to kill Lu Ming openly because there were too many celestial thearchs standing behind him. If word of this got out, the Lan family would not be able to handle it. However, they only asked Lu Ming to leave. In this way, The celestial the arch behind Lu Ming could not say anything. Right now, the heaven realm beings and the evil god race were at war with each other. Lu Ming and the rest had separated from the main group. Once they encountered the evil god tribe, they would definitely not let them off. They would kill them and weaken the strength of the heaven realm. This was the Lan family's plan. Let us leave. There are so many people here. The Lan family doesn't have the final say. Emperor Formless replied. Oh, is that so? The 3-star great emperor from the Lan family sneered. He then looked at the others and said, Everyone, do you want to work with Lu Ming or the Lan family? If you want to work with Lu Ming, then go ahead. The Lan family will not play along. A group of people stood beside the Lan family's 3-star great emperor. There were more than 10 of them. Among these people, there were people from the Lan family's headquarters, and also people like the Yen family who had good relations with the Lan family. Many people's eyes flickered when they heard the words of the middle-aged man from the Lan family. I'm willing to cooperate with the Lan family. I'm naturally willing to cooperate with Brother Lan. Not long after, some people walked towards the Lan family with smiles on their faces. This area was the outer region of the Void God Island, and only low-level Great Emperors were active here. The 4-star Great Emperors and above had already entered the depths of the island to look for better opportunities. This time, the person with the highest cultivation level among those who entered the formation was a 3-star Great Emperor. There were only a few 3-star Great Emperors among them. Each and every one of them was at the peak of their combat strength. Each and every one of them was extremely important in the fight for the Array Disc and the hunt for the Evil God Tribe. The Evil God Tribe also had a few 3-star Great Sovereigns, and without them, they wouldn't be able to fight against the Evil God Tribe. This 3-star Great Emperor of the Lan family was almost at the peak of the 3-star Great Emperor realm, and his battle prowess was extremely shocking. Cooperate with Lu Ming? What a joke! Are you looking for death? Now, they naturally chose to cooperate with the Lan family. In their impression, Lu Ming was merely a true emperor. Although his combat strength was astonishing, he was at most equivalent to a 1-star great emperor. He would not affect the overall situation. One by one, the heaven realm beings stood beside the Lan family. Lu Ming, Emperor Formless, and the other 2 were slowly isolated. The middle-aged man from the Lan family, Lan Emo, and the others all smiled. Lu Ming had left the team and was later killed by the evil god tribe. They could not be blamed for this. Chapter 2355, How Despicable! Emperor Formless, Emperor Huntian, and Emperor Skyfire all had unsightly expressions on their faces. It's fine. Since they don't welcome us, then let's go, Deans. Lu Ming said. He was very straightforward and turned to leave. Emperor Formless and the other 2 followed Lu Ming. Let's hope that the evil god tribe can kill him. The middle-aged man from the Lan family sneered. His name was Lan Kong and he was an uncle of Lan Yun. Back then, at the Lan family, Lu Ming had humiliated the Lan family in public and even killed Lan Yun. Many people in the Lan family harbored a grudge against Lu Ming. Lan Kong was even more so. If not for the Celestial the Arch backing Lu Ming up, he would have killed Lu Ming himself. Let's go! After Lu Ming and the others left, the people from the Heaven Realm flew toward the mountain range. Lu Ming and the other 3 did not fly. Instead, they walked along the ground. Not long after, they arrived at the foot of a huge mountain. Then, they took out some rough stones and began to refine them to restore their strength. They had just experienced a great battle and needed to recover. Not long after, they completely recovered. Lu Ming, what's your plan next? Emperor Wu Xiang said. This area should be the abode of an expert, and there might be some opportunities left behind. Wouldn't it be a pity if we miss it? Lu Ming said with a smile. So what if he had left the crowd? Lu Ming was not worried. His current battle power was enough to kill a 2-star great emperor, and with the indestructible Ancient Scroll's powerful recovery ability, he wouldn't be afraid even if he were to face a 3-star great emperor. Immediately, the 4 of them also rushed towards the palace on the mountain. Not long after, they arrived at a mountain peak. There was a palace on this mountain peak, but there were figures flickering in the palace. They were other creatures from the Heaven Realm. It was obvious that they had already been occupied. The four of them left the place and changed direction. This area was extremely vast, and one couldn't see the end of it. Soon, they arrived at another mountain peak with a palace, which was also occupied. The four of them didn't stop and continued to move forward. Slowly, they deviated from their original direction and moved closer to the left. "There's someone in front." After a while, Lu Ming muttered. He noticed some movement in front of him. The few of them found a hidden place and looked forward. There was a cliff in front of them. It looked very ordinary and there was nothing unusual about it. And NBSP, but at this moment, there were a few evil god race members that were wandering around the bottom of the cliff. Could there be something unusual here? Lu Ming and the other three had an idea. They then observed patiently. At the bottom of the cliff, a total of 4 members of the evil god tribe were searching the cliff. "Are you sure there are treasures here?" One of the evil god race members asked with uncertainty. "It shouldn't be wrong. One can sense that there's something extraordinary here. Keep looking. There's definitely something fishy," one of the 4-armed evil god clansmen said. He was very agile and kept flashing under the cliff. "There it is." "What?" The 4-armed evil god race member suddenly cried out in joy. He lay on a broken cliff and pointed out with his fingers, sending beams of light into the stone wall. "Gotcha!" The stone wall suddenly split open, and a crack appeared. It's here." The evil god tribe members were overjoyed. In the distance, the eyes of Lu Ming and the rest lit up. He didn't expect that an ordinary cliff would have another world. This place was so well hidden, so there might really be treasures inside. There are 4 members of the evil god tribe, but only one of them is a 2-star great emperor. We can deal with him easily. Lu Ming sent a voice transmission to Emperor Wuxia and the other 2. The 3 of them nodded, and a light flashed in their eyes. Then, the 4 of them restrained their qi and ran along the ground toward the broken cliff. In a few breaths, the 4 of them were close to the cliff. "Who is it?" When they got close, one of the alien races noticed them and immediately shouted, "Buzz!" Lu Ming immediately made his move and rushed towards the 2-star Great Emperor. Emperor Formless and the other 2 also charged toward the other 3 members of the evil god tribe. For verses 4. "Human, you're looking for death." The 2-star Great Emperor from the evil god tribe had 4 arms. 4 sharp blades appeared on his forearms. His body flashed, and the 4 sharp blades slashed toward Lu Ming at an astonishing speed. Bush, 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 bush. 4 sharp edges were aimed at Lu Ming's vital points at an alarming speed. Buzz. The muscles and bones in Lu Ming's body vibrated. In an instant, the frequency of the vibrations exceeded 1 billion times. A powerful vibration burst out with terrifying power. The void exploded and endless void storms swept in all directions. The opponent's sharp blade was destroyed. Boom. Following that, Lu Ming threw out a punch, and the force of his fist crushed over. The evil god race member let out a muffled groan, and his body flew out like a cannonball. He spat out a large mouthful of blood, and his face was pale. One move and he was seriously injured. Not good, let's go. The evil god race member knew that he had met an opponent he couldn't defeat. He let out a loud roar and wanted to escape. However, Lu Ming's speed was faster than his. With a flash, he caught up with the other party. Boom, boom. Lu Ming punched continuously. 11 types of light shone on his body. It was 11 types of laws erupting at the same time. The other party did not have the strength to resist at all. He was crushed by Lu Ming's fist force. He screamed in pain and his body was torn into pieces. After killing this evil god, Lu Ming did not stop at all. With a flash, he charged toward the other 3 members of the evil god race. The 3 evil god tribe members were merely 1-star Great Emperor realm experts. The difference between them and Lu Ming was too great. They could not escape even if they wanted to. Lu Ming killed them all with a single punch. After killing the 4 evil god tribesmen, Lu Ming kept their corpses into the small world. Then the 4 of them came to the crack. There seemed to be a passage behind the crack. Without much hesitation, the 4 of them entered the passage. The passage was not very long, only a few thousand meters. After passing through the passage, the front suddenly opened up. In front of him was a huge stone chamber. However, this stone chamber was empty. "There's an entrance there." Lu Ming looked ahead. There was a half-open stone door in the stone room. They walked over and found that there was a stone staircase behind the stone door. They walked down the stone stairs and soon came to a huge underground secret room. The secret room was very spacious, with only 2 iron boxes in the middle. The eyes of the few people lit up. The few of them carefully approached the metal box, worried that there was a large formation on it. However, when the 4 of them approached, there was nothing unusual. Lu Ming took the lead and came to a metal box. He opened one of the metal boxes and immediately discovered rings inside. There were a total of 9 storage rings. Lu Ming picked one up and scanned it with his spiritual senses. He was overjoyed. There were raw gemstones in the storage ring, and they were all supreme-grade raw gemstones. He had no idea how many there were. Following that, Lu Ming picked up another storage ring and discovered that there were also raw gemstones in it. Moreover, they were all top-grade raw gemstones of the highest grade. Chapter 2356. Following that, Lu Ming looked at the 8 storage rings in succession. They were all raw gemstones, all of them supreme grade. "Ha, I'm rich." Lu Ming laughed heartily. Supreme-grade raw gemstones could be used by great emperors or even heavenly emperors. Absorbing the raw qi from the raw gemstones could help condense a small world and strengthen its power. However, it was not as fast as the Chaos Gem. It was just as fast as the Primordial Chaos Stone. What's inside? Emperor Formless and the other 2 were also filled with anticipation. Raw stones, they're all raw stones. Lu Ming handed the 8 storage rings to the 3 of them. Emperor Formless and the other 2 were overjoyed to see this. With so many raw gemstones, even if they were Great Emperor Realm, they could use them for a long time. Lu Ming picked up the 9th storage ring and scanned it with his spiritual senses. The next moment, Lu Ming's eyes widened and his mouth could not help but drop. The 9th storage ring did not contain raw gemstones, but chaos stones and primordial chaos stones. The 9th storage ring was actually filled with chaos gems and primordial chaos gems. Furthermore, there was an astonishing amount of them. Lu Ming did a rough calculation. The number of chaos gems and primordial chaos gems inside was no less than 10,000. 10,000 chaos gems. What kind of concept was that? When the Lan family held a banquet and offered 100 chaos gems as a reward, it shocked the heaven realm and gathered all the elites. Lin Xiaofeng, who was originally the first in the 9 uniques, also went to the Lan family for the 100 chaos gems. If 100 chaos gems were worth this much, then 10,000 chaos gems would cause a huge commotion if word got out. Although the effects of the primordial chaos stones were not as good as the chaos stones, 3 primordial chaos stones were equivalent to 2 chaos stones. There were about 10,000 yuan in each of the boxes. One had to know that chaos stones and primordial chaos stones were both products of the creation of the world. They were treasures that could not be regenerated. One used meant one less. Over the course of countless years, the number of chaos stones and primordial chaos stones had become extremely scarce. But here, there were 10,000 yuan each. This was an unimaginable wealth. Seeing Lu Ming in a daze, the 3 emperors were also curious. Lu Ming only came back to his senses after a long while. He showed the storage ring to Emperor Notionless. After the 3 of them looked at it, they were immediately petrified. This, after a long time, the 3 of them finally reacted. Their eyes were wide open and full of surprise. Then, the 4 of them looked at the other big box. If there were so many treasures in one box, what about the other box? What kind of treasures would there be? They were all looking forward to it. Lu Ming walked over and opened the box. As soon as he opened the box, a bright light shone from it. Then balls of light rushed out of the box. What is it? Lu Ming was shocked. He retreated quickly and looked at the balls of light. There were a total of 36 light orbs, and in each of them, there was a glass shard-like object that gave off a bright and mysterious aura. The aura of the Great Tao. Lu Ming's eyes widened. He could sense the aura of the Great Tao in each ball of light. It was very similar to the aura of the Great Emperor realm. It's a fragment of the Great Tao. It really is a fragment of the Great Tao. Emperor Formless, Emperor Huntian, and Emperor Skyfire roared in excitement. A fragment of the Great Tao. Lu Ming's eyes were extremely bright. Those at the Great Emperor realm comprehended the Great Tao, and Great Tao fragments could be refined directly by Great Emperors to enhance their comprehension of the Great Tao. It could improve their cultivation and even help Great Emperors break through bottlenecks. However, the fragments of the Great Tao were extremely rare and rarely appeared. In theory, after a Great Emperor was killed, there was a chance that a Great Tao fragment would appear, but the chance was extremely small. Furthermore, a Heavenly Emperor could also nurture a Great Tao fragment. Some invincible figures could even condense fragments of the Great Path from the Great Path of Heaven and Earth. However, the supply of such items was far from enough to meet the demand. Once they appeared, they would be snatched up by the Great Emperors. A fragment of the Great Path was a priceless treasure to a Great Emperor. Buzz. And NBSP whoosh. 36 balls of light flew all over the sky, some even flying towards the exit. Hurry up and attack. Don't let the fragment of the Great Tao fly away. Emperor Wu Xiang shouted and flew up, pouncing on the fragments of the Great Tao. At the same time, Lu Ming, the Sky Fire Emperor, and Huntian Emperor moved as well. Their bodies flickered as they pounced toward the Tao fragments. Lu Ming was extremely fast. With a wave of his hand, a huge palm formed by the laws grabbed a fragment of the Great Tao and put it away in a storage ring. Then they flew toward the other fragments of the Great Tao. The four of them attacked together at a very fast speed. In less than a minute, the 36 fragments of the Great Tao were collected by the four of them. Haha. Emperor Formless and the others laughed loudly. They had gained too much this time. There were a large number of supreme-grade raw gemstones, more than 10,000 chaos stones and primordial chaos stones, and 36 Great Tao fragments. If others knew about this, it would probably cause a commotion and cause a bloody fight. A great opportunity. This was truly a great opportunity. This place was so well hidden, so there must be a lot of treasures. Then, the four of them searched the area again and confirmed that there were no other treasures. Let's go, well, leave this place first. Emperor Wu Xiang said. The others nodded. They went to the exit and went through the passage to the outside of the cliff. However, the moment they stepped outside, their expressions changed. Because there was someone outside. Blue Membrane. Lu Ming saw Lan Emo at a glance. There were 6 other people. In addition to Lan Emo, there were 7 people in total. Lu Ming. Lan Emo also saw Lu Ming immediately. The 7 people's eyes lit up as they stared at Lu Ming and the other 3. Lu Ming, what did you get in there? Hand them all over. Lan Emo shouted, his eyes flashing with a cold light. We didn't get anything inside. Lu Ming casually replied. Nothing? Do you think I'm an idiot? This place is so well hidden, so there must be some treasures. Give us your storage rings and open up your pocket world for us to search. One don't believe there are no treasures. Lan Emo said coldly. Are you an idiot? Lu Ming cast an indifferent glance at Lan Emo and said coldly, also, who do you think you are? Even if there's a treasure inside? Why should I let you search? Lu Ming, Lan Mo's face was dark. He gritted his teeth. Today, even if you don't allow us to search, we will still search. You have no choice. Boom, boom. At the edge of the blue membrane, the other 6 people exuded a powerful aura and a powerful pressure that pressed down on Lu Ming and the other 3. 2-star Great Emperors, and the others are all 1-star Great Emperors. Lu Ming instantly judged the other party's ability and his lips curled up slightly. No wonder Lan Emo was so confident. The 2-star Great Emperors were indeed very powerful. In Lan Mo's opinion, they were enough to crush Lu Ming. After all, Lu Ming was only slightly stronger than him before he came to the Void Island. Chapter 2357. A total of 7 of them released their auras. The pressure of a Great Emperor was like a storm, pressing down on Lu Ming and the other 3. The 2-star Great Emperor's auras were even more astonishing. They made the 3 emperors tremble and take 2 steps back. Lu Ming, surrender and hand over your storage ring. Lan Mo sneered. If you have the ability, come and take it yourself. Lu Ming said calmly. His expression did not change at all when he was facing the 7 experts. Stubborn. Attack and cripple him. Kill him. Lan Mo said coldly. He took a step forward and charged at Lu Ming. In his opinion, Lu Ming was only slightly stronger than him. With him and 1 or 2 people assisting him, they would be able to take Lu Ming down in a few moves. He rushed toward Lu Ming. However, in the next moment his pupils suddenly shrank because Lu Ming's figure had suddenly disappeared. When he reappeared, he was already in front of him. How could it be so fast? Not good. This thought flashed through Lan Mo's mind. He wanted to retaliate, but it was too late. He saw Lu Ming's palm rapidly enlarging in front of his eyes and pressing on his face. A terrifying force gushed out from Lu Ming's palm. The blue membrane could not resist this force at all. He could even hear the sound of his neck bones breaking. Boom. Lu Ming pressed his palm on Lan Mo's face, causing him to crash to the ground. With a violent boom, the earth shook and the mountain rocks trembled. A huge pit appeared in the ground. Lan Mo lay in the pit, twitching and spitting out large mouthfuls of blood. His bones and armor were all broken. He wasn't dead yet, but his eyes were filled with fear and disbelief. How long had it been since he last fought with Lu Ming? Previously, Lu Ming could barely defeat him. In terms of direct combat, Lu Ming was not stronger than him. In the end, Lu Ming was able to win because of the indestructible ancient scroll. But now, he could not fight back at all in front of Lu Ming. He was more fragile than a baby and was pressed to the ground by Lu Ming with 1 move. The remaining 6 people were also shocked. Let's join forces to deal with him. A 2-star Great Emperor shouted. Instantly, the 2 2-star Great Emperors rushed toward Lu Ming at the same time. Lu Ming had beaten Lan Mo to a half-dead state in 1 move. Such combat strength made them tremble with fear, and they decided to join forces to take Lu Ming down. You came just in time. A cold glint flashed in Lu Ming's eyes. The glow of 11 types of laws emanated from his body. The muscles in his body trembled, and he charged at his opponent. This is 11 maxims and 5 ultimate maxims. When the 2 2-star Great Emperors saw the glow on Lu Ming's body, they were shocked and in disbelief. Boom. Boom. While the 2 of them were in shock, Lu Ming's attack had already arrived. Lu Ming's fist force was like a storm, blasting towards the 2 of them. The terrifying fist force made it hard for the 2 to breathe. The 2 of them growled and attacked with all their might. The aura of the Great Tao filled the air as they cast their divine abilities to fight against Lu Ming. A series of deafening explosions rang out, and 2 figures were forced to retreat. They were 2-star Great Emperors. At this moment, the 2 of them were extremely shocked. They felt as if the bones in their arms were about to crack. Lu Ming's attack was shockingly powerful. Even with the 2 of them working together, they were at a disadvantage. Boom. Boom. After Lu Ming pushed the 2 of them back, he did not give them any chance to catch their breath. He launched a series of attacks. Moreover, Lu Ming did not care about his own defense at all. He fought with all his might. This allowed Lu Ming to unleash his full combat strength. The 2 2-star Great Emperors attacked with all their might, but they were no match for Lu Ming. Every time they collided with Lu Ming, their bodies trembled violently and they were forced to retreat. Their chi and blood were in turmoil, and blood flowed from the corners of their mouths. They were shocked. Lu Ming's combat strength was already on par with a 3-star Great Emperor. If they were alone, they would have been defeated long ago. Lose. Lu Ming let out a long howl and rushed towards one of the 2-star Great Emperors, completely ignoring the attacks of the other. Bang. Bang. 2 clashing sounds rang out. One of the 2-star Great Emperor's attacks hit Lu Ming, but at the same time, Lu Ming's attack hit the other 2-star Great Emperor. The 2-star Great Emperor who was hit by Lu Ming let out a blood-curdling screech as his body flew out and crashed into the wall of the cliff. He spat out a mouthful of blood as a large hole appeared in his chest. He was severely injured. Lu Ming was hit. Although he was sent flying, he only spat out a mouthful of blood. His aura was still strong and he was not seriously injured. Buzz. Lu Ming turned around and kicked the two-star Great Emperor behind him like a steel whip. His body was sent flying like a cannonball, and he was severely injured. The two-star Great Emperors had only exchanged a few blows with Lu Ming, but they were already severely injured by him. The remaining one-star Great Emperor, who had been fighting against Emperor Formless and the other two, turned pale with fright and retreated at top speed. The most shocked person was Lanimo. His eyes were wide open and he was almost scared to death. Two-star Great Emperors were severely injured by Lu Ming in an instant. What kind of combat strength did Lu Ming have? How could his improvement be so fast? Lu Ming's cold gaze swept toward Lanimo, causing him to tremble and his face to turn pale. "Spare me, spare me." Lanimo actually struggled to get up on his knees and begged Lu Ming for mercy. It was rare for a great emperor like him to kneel down and beg for mercy from a junior. "This time, I'll spare your lives. If there's a next time, I'll definitely kill you," Lu Ming said coldly. Then he, Emperor Formless, and the other two left the place in a flash. It wasn't that he was soft-hearted, but that their greatest opponent in this formation was still the evil god tribe. If they killed Lanimo and the others, it would weaken the strength of the Heaven Realm's side, which would be disadvantageous to them. However, if the other party was insatiable, he would not hold back. Lu Ming's group of 4 left the place and headed to the right. They arrived at a rather remote mountain peak. The 4 of them opened up a cave, sealed the entrance, and entered the cave. Then he took out all his raw gemstones, chaos stones, primordial chaos stones, and great Tao fragments. "Lu Ming, take these chaos gems and primordial chaos gems. They'll be very useful to you." Emperor Formless handed the storage ring with the chaos gems and primordial chaos gems to Lu Ming. "How can we do that? We obtained these things together. We should split them equally," Lu Ming said. "No, Lu Ming. Without you, the 3 of us wouldn't have been able to get such a great opportunity. Moreover, we're already so old. Our potential is limited. It's a waste to occupy a large amount of resources. We'll only be able to make the most out of it if we leave it to you. We'll just take a few great Tao fragments," Huntian Grand Emperor said. "One don't have a fragment of the great Tao for the time being. The 3 deans are of use to me, so take them all." Lu Ming pushed the 30 great Tao fragments to Emperor Notionless and the other 2. However, Emperor Formless and the other 2 shook their heads. The 3 of them took 18 fragments of the great Tao and gave the remaining fragments to Lu Ming. The 3 of them each took one of the raw gemstones from the 8 storage rings. They gave the remaining 5 to Lu Ming. The 3 of them were determined. Lu Ming had no choice but to keep it. Chapter 2358. Immediately after, Emperor Formless, Huntian, and Skyfire Emperor decided to go into seclusion to refine the fragments of the Great Tao and see if they could break through the bottleneck. Lu Ming happened to be in seclusion to comprehend the laws. In any case, it wasn't that easy to obtain the 8 array discs. Furthermore, between the Heaven Realm beings and the evil god race, only one side could leave. At that time, both sides would definitely have to kill each other. In that case, let them fight. For now, increasing their strength was the most important thing. Without strength, if the Heaven Realm won, it would still be fine. However, if the evil god tribe won, they would definitely be killed. At that time, they could only be slaughtered. As for Lu Ming's physical body, it had just broken through not long ago. With the liquid fire, he had advanced to the peak of the early stage of the 5th level. It was impossible for him to break through again in a short period of time. If he wanted to increase his strength now, the only way was to comprehend the laws. Lu Ming was comprehending an ultimate maxim. Every time he comprehended an ultimate maxim and linked it with the other maxims, his combat strength would definitely improve. The 4 of them sat in 4 different positions and began to cultivate. Notionless Emperor, Skyfire Emperor, and Huntian Emperor each took out a fragment of the Great Tao and started refining it. It was not easy to refine a fragment of the Great Path. It would take a long time. Lu Ming, on the other hand, was comprehending the laws in peace. Now, his main goal was still the Samsara laws and primordial chaos laws. He planned to cultivate these two laws to the third realm first before comprehending the other laws. Cultivation knew no time. Time flew by, and in the blink of an eye, half a year had passed. Comprehending the laws here was very fast. Even without experiencing a life-and-death battle, Lu Ming had still broken through to the third realm in the primordial chaos laws. Furthermore, he had perfectly fused it with the original 9 laws to form a divine power technique. The law of reincarnation had also reached the limit of the second realm. However, Emperor Formless and the other 2 were still refining the fragments of the Great Tao. They had each refined a fragment of the Great Path and were now refining the second one. Let's go out and see what's the situation outside. Lu Ming pondered. He didn't know what the situation was like outside in the past 6 months. Had the 8 array discs been found? Lu Ming immediately left the cave and headed outside. Boom. Not long after he left the cave, Lu Ming saw people fighting. It was the Heaven Realm creatures and the evil god tribe. There were more than a dozen people. Both sides continued to kill each other, and the rumbles continued. Could it be that the 8 array discs had been found? Lu Ming's heart stirred. Now that the 8 formation discs had been found, the 2 sides would definitely have to fight. After observing for a while, Lu Ming realized that this was not the case. Instead, both parties were fighting over a palace. Lu Ming squinted his eyes and cast the divine breath technique to completely conceal his aura. He was like a rock. Then, Lu Ming's body sank into the ground and he quietly headed toward the palace. Lu Ming had successfully entered the palace without anyone noticing. Unfortunately, there were no treasures in the palace. Lu Ming searched around but found nothing. It seemed that the treasures they had obtained the last time were really something that could only be encountered by luck. That's... All of a sudden, Lu Ming's expression changed. He had made a discovery in the last side room of the palace. A ball of light floated in the air. In the ball of light, there was an array disc floating, emitting a dusky light. A formation plate. Lu Ming's eyes lit up. Could this be the array disc that the array spirit had mentioned? Lu Ming waved his hand and the power of law condensed into a large hand. He grabbed the array disc in his hand. The formation plate was extremely ancient and had been around for countless years. There were 8 pits on it, and 5 of them were shining. Congratulations, you've obtained an array board. Suddenly, a voice rang out, and then a youth appeared. It was precisely that formation spirit. Now, you found 5 array discs. There are 3 more. Keep it up. It'll remind you again that only one of you can leave. Look forward to your performance. Finished talking, the formation spirit's figure directly disappeared. There are 5 of them. In that case, the 5 shining pits on the array disc are the number of array discs that have been found. Lu Ming's heart stirred. Then, he put away the array disc and continued to conceal his aura as he left the hall. Outside, the 2 parties were still fighting. Lu Ming had left quietly. Then, Lu Ming took a stroll outside and returned to the place where he had previously cultivated in seclusion. He did not find anything. Now that he had an array disc in his hands, he felt much more at ease. In any case, even if the other 7 array discs were to appear, without the one in his hand, the others would not be able to leave. He could then cultivate in seclusion with peace of mind. Lu Ming returned to his place of seclusion and continued to study the laws in seclusion. Lu Ming did not try to comprehend the new laws. Instead, he focused on the law of reincarnation. At the same time, he kept trying to figure out the divine power technique. His divine power techniques were all self-created, so every time he comprehended a new divine power technique, he had to sort it out and explore it again. Only by constantly exploring could his sacred art become more exquisite and powerful. Time flew by, and another half a year passed. It had been more than 2 years since Lu Ming had entered the Void Island. At this time, he had finally cultivated the reincarnation law to the third realm. Furthermore, it complemented the other laws very well and formed a new sacred art. It was a divine power technique formed by 5 ultimate laws and 6 king path laws. The moment he attacked, the sacred art formed from the interweaving of 11 types of laws erupted with astonishing power. There was no doubt that Lu Ming's combat strength had increased again. Now that he had unleashed his full power, he was confident that he could even fight a 3-star Great Emperor without fear. What was worth mentioning was that after refining 3 fragments of the Great Tao each, Emperor Formless and the other 2 broke through to become 2-star Great Emperors. The 3 of them had been stuck at the 1-star Great Emperor realm for a very long time, and they had finally broken through to the 2-star Great Emperor realm. In addition to Lu Ming's combat strength, the strength of the 4 of them was considered to be not bad. Congratulations to the 3 deans, Lu Ming said with a smile. Luck, but it'll be difficult for us to break through to the 3-star Great Emperor realm. Our talent is limited, and it won't be easy even with the fragments of the Great Tao. Emperor Formless laughed in a carefree manner. The bottleneck that had not been loosened for many years had been broken through in one day, so he was naturally in a good mood. The 3 of them chatted for a while and decided to go out and take a look. 7 formation discs had already appeared. As soon as the 8th appeared, the 2 sides would probably start fighting. Moreover, now that Lu Ming and the other 3's abilities had improved greatly, they wanted to go out and try their luck to see if they could obtain some more opportunities. The 4 of them left the place of seclusion and headed towards the depths of this region. Not long after, they made a discovery. This was because they realized that there were people continuously heading deeper into the area. The crowd is gathering. There must be a major discovery ahead. Emperor Wuxia said, "Let's go and take a look." The Sky Fire Emperor was the most impatient. Chapter 2359. They followed a few people in the dark and went deep into the forest. After flying over a large mountain range, they came to a plain. A huge pit had been dug out in this plain, and in the pit, there was a huge palace. This was a palace that was buried underground, and it had actually been discovered. The palace's door opened, and the few people in front flew in. Buzz. And NBSP whoosh. Not far away, a few more figures flew over. They were actually from the Evil God tribe. The few Evil God tribe members cast a few cold glances at Lu Ming and the rest. They did not make a move and instead rushed into the door of the hall. It seems like this underground palace is quite impressive. It has attracted the experts from both sides. Emperor Wuxia said. The others nodded. They had been trapped in this formation for a year, and 7 of the formation discs had already been found. Most likely, all the corners that could be searched had been searched. It was very likely that the last array disc was in this underground palace. Furthermore, this palace was hidden deep underground. Perhaps, it contained a great opportunity. Let's go in and take a look. Skyfire Emperor said. Let's go. Lu Ming said and flew toward the palace's door. Behind the door was a huge passage that extended all the way forward. As soon as they flew in, they saw a light shining in front of them. The few members of the evil god race who had flown in earlier were being attacked. The walls on both sides of the passageway were glowing, and mysterious runes appeared on them. They condensed into rays of light that shot toward the evil god race members. The few evil god race members tried their best to defend as they advanced. There's a formation here. Lu Ming reminded them, and the 4 of them were on high alert. As soon as they entered the passage, the walls on both sides of the passage emitted a dazzling light that blasted toward them. These radiances were like rays of divine light, their power shocking. The 4 of them set up layers of defense to resist the light. Fortunately, although the light was powerful and could even pose a threat to 1-star Great Emperors, it wasn't much of a threat to them. The 4 of them quickly advanced into the depths of the tunnel. The faces of the few evil god tribe members in front changed drastically when they saw how fast Lu Ming and the others were. They exerted all their strength and wanted to pass through the passageway quickly, afraid that Lu Ming and the others would catch up to them. However, there were a total of 3 of them. 2 of them were 2-star Great Emperors, and the other one was a 1-star Great Emperor. Their speed couldn't keep up with Lu Ming's group at all. After more than 10 minutes, Lu Ming's group had caught up with them. Kill them, Lu Ming said coldly. There was nothing to say when they encountered the evil god tribe. They could only kill them. You're the one who's going to die. A 2-star Great Emperor from the evil god race roared in anger and charged toward Lu Ming. However, Lu Ming's current combat strength was not any weaker than a 3-star Great Emperor. He was extremely powerful. After one move, the evil god tribe members were sent flying while vomiting blood. Then, Lu Ming stepped forward and killed the evil god with one move. Emperor Formless and the other two had also forced the remaining 2 members of the evil god tribe into a precarious situation. Lu Ming turned around and killed his way back. The remaining 2 members of the evil god race were easily dealt with by them. After packing up, the 4 of them continued forward. This time, it only took them a few minutes to pass through the passage. After the passage, there were 6 corridors leading in different directions. Lu Ming and the other 3 randomly chose one and rushed forward. Not long after, they found some rooms, but these rooms were all empty. They had been moved. Lu Ming and the rest understood that they were late. Most likely, many people had already entered. Following that, they came across a few more rooms, and they were all empty. Immediately, they didn't stay any longer and rushed forward at full speed. Suddenly, they heard a shrill cry. The 4 people's expressions changed. Someone had been killed. The 4 of them quickly concealed their auras and continued forward. Boom, boom. In front of him, there was a fierce roar. Get lost. Kill. There were also roars of anger. Lu Ming and the group passed through a corridor and came to a wide hall. They discovered that a group of people was being besieged. There were people from the evil god tribe and also people from the heaven realm. The 2 sides did not attack each other, as they had a common enemy. In the hall, black light flickered continuously at an astonishing speed. This was a type of bat. Its entire body was pitch black, as if it was made of black iron. However, its eyes were completely red, like fresh blood. The enemies of the evil god tribe and the living beings in the heaven realm were these bats. In the hall, there were already some corpses of the evil god tribe and heaven realm beings lying on the ground. Furthermore, every single one of them was dried up, as if their blood had been devoured. And NBSBBus. A strange fluctuation spread out, causing Lu Ming, Emperor Formless, and the others' expressions to change. It's a sound wave attack, be careful. Emperor Formless warned. The few of them hurriedly circulated their inner chi to defend themselves against the invisible fluctuations. The invisible fluctuations were extremely terrifying. Once hit, it would directly attack the soul and cause one to be dizzy. Clearly, many people had been hit. After being attacked by these bats, their minds went dizzy. How could they still fight back? They were directly attacked by these bats and died on the spot. And NBSP whoosh. There were dozens of black bats roaming around the hall. The living beings of the evil god race and heaven realm were all blocked here and were unable to advance. Even their own survival was in danger. Opposite the hall, there was a door that seemed to lead straight through. Let's charge over, Lu Ming said as he rushed forward with the 3 of them. Immediately, a few black bats stared at them. Their blood-red eyes swept over them and they flew towards them. And NBSBBus. The invisible fluctuation was rushing toward them. Lu Ming controlled the laws. 11 types of laws covered his entire body, especially his ears, which had the strongest defense. But even so, Lu Ming felt that the power of the law still swayed, but he blocked it. However, Emperor Formless and the other 2 weren't as relaxed. Their bodies trembled slightly, and their faces paled. A few bats pounced toward Lu Ming and the rest. Die! Lu Ming shouted coldly. He stepped forward and threw a few punches. Boom, boom. The void trembled violently. The invisible fluctuations were directly crushed by Lu Ming's fist force. The terrifying fist force crushed over and the few bats' bodies exploded. Let's go! Lu Ming took the lead and rushed forward. Emperor Formless and the others followed behind Lu Ming. With Lu Ming's cultivation and his powerful physical energy, his defense was amazing. Even the bat's sound wave attack could not hurt him. With Lu Ming as the leader, the 4 of them dashed forward like a pair of scissors. On the way, Lu Ming killed a few more bats. That's Lu Ming. He's actually so powerful. Someone recognized Lu Ming and was shocked. Lu Ming, give us a hand. Someone shouted and looked at Lu Ming in anticipation. Hee hee. Lu Ming sneered. He could not be bothered with these people. Chapter 2360. Lu Ming could not be bothered with these people. Now that these people were in trouble and in danger, did they think of Lu Ming? He was saved by Lu Ming? Back then, when the Lan family wanted to chase Lu Ming away, why did these people not stand up for Lu Ming? They even stood on the Lan family's side. He still looked down on Lu Ming and felt that he was weak. Now that he saw that Lu Ming had become more powerful, he wanted to ask Lu Ming for help. There was no such good thing in the world. Lu Ming and the other three kept moving forward and rushed into the door opposite the hall. After entering the door, they found themselves in another corridor that led to the depths of the forest. Not long after they moved forward, their expressions changed. In the corridor, there was also a corpse lying there. The body was dried up, and it was obvious that he had been killed by those bats. The four of them didn't dare to be careless and focused on defense. Suddenly, a few black shadows rushed out from under the corpse and charged toward Lu Ming and the rest. They were the black bats. Boom, boom. Lu Ming punched continuously, killing a few bats. They continued to move forward, and sure enough, along the way, they would be attacked by those bats from time to time. However, with Lu Ming leading the way, they were still able to move forward without any danger. Along the way, they would occasionally see corpses of heaven realm beings and evil god race beings. This palace was very large. They went around a few corridors and passed through who knew how many rooms. Finally, they came to a huge hall. There was no one in the hall. It seemed that they were the first to arrive at the hall. In the air of the hall, there was a circular light screen, like a bubble, floating in the air. When Lu Ming and the other three saw the items on the screen, their eyes widened. A fragment of the Great Tao. The light screen was filled with fragments of the Great Path. There were at least dozens of them. It was even more than what they had gotten last time. The four people's eyes immediately burned with passion. A fragment of the Great Path was a priceless treasure outside. Any great emperor would be tempted. 4 great emperors. Nothing was more precious than a fragment of the Great Path. Emperor Formless, Skyfire Emperor, and Huntian Emperor had been stuck in the 1-star Great Emperor realm for a long time, but after refining the 3 Great Tao fragments, their cultivation had broken through. One could only imagine how precious the fragments of the Great Tao were. One had to know that great emperors also had to face heavenly tribulations. It was normal for many great emperors to not have any progress in their cultivation base during the heavenly tribulation that occurred once every 300,000 years. There was no progress in his cultivation, but the heavenly tribulation would become stronger and stronger. In this case, he would die under the heavenly tribulation sooner or later. However, with the fragments of the Great Tao, their cultivation could be improved. This way, dealing with the heavenly tribulation would be much easier. Hurry up! The few of them looked at each other, and in a flash, they rushed toward the light curtain. They had to collect all these fragments before anyone else. Otherwise, they would have to fight. Lu Ming's speed was the fastest. He approached the light screen in an instant and stretched out his large hand to grab the light screen. However, when Lu Ming's palm touched the light screen, it was as hard as an iron wall and blocked Lu Ming's palm. It's so hard! Lu Ming's expression changed. The power of his entire body and the power of the law burst out, and he punched the light screen. Boom! The light screen shook violently, but it was not blasted open. At this moment, Emperor Formless and the other 2 also arrived. Their attacks also struck the light curtain madly. The light curtain shook violently, but it still didn't break. Let's focus on one point and break him with all our strength. Lu Ming said. All right. The 3 emperors nodded. The law circulated on Lu Ming's body and a long spear appeared in his palm. It was the infinite dragon spear condensed by the power of the law. Buzz! Lu Ming shook the infinite dragon spear and it began to spin rapidly. Like a drill, it pierced the light curtain. Zzzzzzz. Instantly, the light screen started to shake violently. The spot where the spear tip had pierced through caved in and rippled. Boom, boom, boom. Emperor Formless, Huntian Emperor, and Skyfire Emperor made their moves at the same time. They unleashed their strongest attacks at the spot where Lu Ming had attacked, causing the light screen to shake even more violently. However, the light curtain was still not broken. Continue! Lu Ming shouted and continued to attack. Boom! Boom! The four of them continued to attack, and the light screen was shaking more and more violently. After the four of them had made hundreds of moves, the light screen finally changed. Kacha! A cracking sound was heard from above. The four of them were overjoyed. They immediately roused their spirits and launched a storm of attacks. Kacha! Kacha! The cracks on the light barrier were getting bigger and bigger. The countless tiny cracks eventually turned into a huge crack. The light curtain was about to be broken. However, at this moment, a group of people rushed in from another passage in the hall. There were a total of 8 people. Lu Ming! Some of these people bellowed the moment they saw Lu Ming. The Lan family. When the 8 people entered, they naturally alerted Lu Ming and the rest. He didn't expect to meet the Lan family here again. That is, fragments of the Great Tao, all of them are fragments of the Great Tao. Heavens, so many! I must get it. Immediately, the 8 members of the Lan family saw the fragments of the Great Path on the light screen, and their eyes shone with a brilliant light. It was the light of greed, burning hot. Especially the leader of the Lan family, Lan Kong. These fragments of the Great Tao are mine. Lan Kong roared in his heart. Break! At this moment, Lu Ming burst out with all his strength. He became one with the spear and turned into a dazzling spear light, piercing a crack on the light screen. The light curtain was already full of cracks and was about to break. Lu Ming's attack was the last straw that broke the camel's back. Boom! The light screen exploded. Dozens of Tao fragments were revealed. Attack! The fragments of the Great Tao are ours. Lan Kong roared and pounced toward Lu Ming and the rest. Collect! Lu Ming took out the mountain and river diagram. The mountain and river diagram expanded rapidly. The mountains and rivers appeared inside and enveloped all the Great Tao fragments. In an instant, all the Great Tao fragments were absorbed into the mountain and river diagram. Then, the mountain and river diagram turned into a ray of light and flew into the space between Lu Ming's eyebrows, disappearing. Retreat! Lu Ming, Emperor Notionless, and the other 3 retreated hastily, avoiding Lan Kang's attack. Lu Ming, hand over the fragment of the Great Tao. Lan Kong roared, his eyes filled with greed. We found it first, so it naturally belongs to us. Isn't it ridiculous to hand it over to you? Lu Ming sneered, his expression one of mockery. Today, you have to hand it over even if you don't want to. Lan Kong shouted. His eyes were very cold as he pounced toward Lu Ming. Chapter 2361. Lan Kong gave the order and he charged at Lu Ming. The other experts of the Lan family also rushed toward Lu Ming and the rest. Lan Kang's entire body was filled with purple radiance. With a punch, the purple radiance condensed into a lion that pounced at Lu Ming. Lan Kang's eyes were filled with cold killing intent. At the scene, other than the Lan clan's people, there were only Lu Ming and his group. He had already decided to kill Lu Ming on the spot, as well as Emperor Formless and his group. Since the people present were from the Lan family, no one would know that they were the ones who killed Lu Ming if they did not tell anyone. The Celestial the Arch behind Lu Ming could only assume that Lu Ming had died while taking a risk or that he was killed by the evil god tribe. In that case, not only could he obtain the fragment of the Great Tao, but he could also kill Lu Ming. It was killing 2 birds with 1 stone. Lan Kang's eyes were filled with excitement. Boom! At this moment, Lu Ming also made his move. This time, Lu Ming did not retreat. Instead, he met the attack head-on and threw a punch at Lan Kong. You're looking for death. The sharpness in Lan Kang's eyes became even stronger. He had heard from Lan Mo about Lu Ming's strength. He was very strong and could defeat a 2-star Great Emperor. However, according to his speculations, it was impossible for him to be a match for a 3-star Great Emperor. After all, the gap between each star was extremely large. If Lu Ming had chosen to retreat or dodge, he might have had to exert more effort. However, Lu Ming chose to fight him head-on. He was simply courting death. Boom. The two of them collided with a deafening boom. The place where their fists collided was filled with a dazzling light that made it hard for people to open their eyes. Then, the two figures trembled as if they had been electrocuted and retreated. Lu Ming and Lan Kong were equally matched in this move. How is that possible? Lan Kong was forced back 5 to 6 steps before he steadied himself. He roared in his heart and his eyes widened, revealing a look of disbelief. With this move, he felt that Lu Ming's power was as deep as the sea and unfathomable. How was this possible? How could Lu Ming have such strong powers? 11 different colors of light of law. What was that? 11 laws? Lan Kang's heart was in turmoil. As for the other members of the Lan family, they were extremely shocked, especially Lan Mo, whose eyes almost popped out of their sockets. A 3-star Great Emperor is nothing more than this. Lu Ming said coldly. I haven't used my full strength yet, don't be too proud. Lan Kong said coldly. His eyes were cold as he said to the other members of the Lan family, you guys take down those 3 old fellows first. Leave Lu Ming to me. Yes, leave these 3 old men to us. The other members of the Lan clan said before charging toward Emperor Formless and the other 2. But as soon as he made his move, these people were shocked. This was because the 3 emperors were all 2-star Great Emperors. 3 2-star Great Emperors joining forces had an astonishing battle prowess, and they were focused on defense. The Lan family couldn't take them down in a short time. Damn it! Lan Kong bellowed and personally charged towards Lu Ming. He used all his strength and roared continuously. Lu Ming was not afraid at all. He continued to fight with him. In the blink of an eye, they had exchanged more than 10 moves, but it was still difficult to win. With Lu Ming's current combat strength, he was no weaker than a 3-star Great Emperor in a head-on battle. Just as the two sides were fighting intensely, a figure flashed. Someone else had arrived. This time, more than 20 people had come, all of whom were creatures from the heaven realm. Needless to say, everyone was shocked to see that Lu Ming could actually fight Lan Kong to a draw. Lan Kang's face was extremely gloomy. Now that the other people from the heaven realm were here, he did not dare to kill Lu Ming openly. Everyone, let's attack together. Lu Ming has obtained a large number of Great Dao fragments. Lan Kong roared, wanting to get the others to attack together. What? A fragment of the Great Dao? Many people's eyes were burning as they looked at Lu Ming with greed. The Great Dao fragment was too tempting for Great Emperors. Whoever dares to attack me, if one don't die, when I return to the Taiqing heavenly region, I will bring people to visit your forces one by one. Lu Ming said coldly. Many people felt a chill. The strength behind Lu Ming was too shocking. There were more than a dozen people at the heavenly emperor realm. No one could stand up to them. If Lu Ming did not die, they would be the ones to die. At the thought of this, although many people were burning with passion, they didn't dare to make a move. Lan Kong, without anyone to help you, you will be the one to die today. Lu Ming said coldly. Boom. At this moment, Lu Ming had completely erupted. He did not care about defense and used all his might to launch a storm of attacks. In this way, Lu Ming was directly hit by Lan Kong. Lan Kang's punch landed on Lu Ming's chest, causing it to cave in. However, Lu Ming seized the opportunity and punched Lan Kang's shoulder. Kacha! The sound of bones breaking could be heard. Lan Kang's shoulder exploded. He staggered backward, his face pale. His defense could not be compared to Lu Ming. Bang! Lu Ming took a heavy step forward. He did not care about his injuries and continued to charge toward Lan Kong. Lu Ming, what do you want to do? You're only at the true emperor realm, so you don't have any Dao fragments left. My cultivation has already reached the peak of 3-star Great Emperor. As long as you give me the Dao fragment, you'll be able to break through to 4-star Great Emperor very soon. As long as I break through to the 4-star Great Emperor realm, our heaven realm will be able to annihilate the evil god tribe, seize the 8 array discs, and leave this place. Otherwise, we might all die. You're so selfish that you don't care about the lives of others. Lan Kong shouted, still trying to drag the others down with him. Many people's expressions changed. Indeed, their number one opponent in this array was the evil god tribe. Lan Kang's cultivation base had indeed reached the peak of 3-star Great Emperor, and he was the one with the highest chance of breaking through in the heaven realm. If he were to obtain the fragment of the Great Tao, he might really be able to break through. If that were the case, they would have the confidence to defeat the evil god tribe. Some people's eyes flickered. Hee, don't think too highly of yourself. Even without you, 111 still exterminate the evil god race. Lu Ming sneered and attacked crazily. After Lu Ming went all out, Lan Kang was at a complete disadvantage. He was confident that he could hit Lu Ming, but the price was that he would be hit by Lu Ming too. His vitality and defensive abilities were inferior to Lu Ming's. He was at a great disadvantage in this way of fighting where both sides would suffer. Damn it! Lan Kang bellowed in his heart. He could only give up the opportunity to hit Lu Ming and put all his effort into defense and dodging. Bang! All of a sudden, Lu Ming took a heavy step forward. He changed his direction and no longer attacked Lan Kang. Instead, he attacked Lan Mo and the rest. Not good. Lan Kang's expression changed. As for Lan Mo and the rest, they did not expect Lu Ming to suddenly change his direction. They were shocked and wanted to dodge, but it was too late. Lu Ming's figure appeared behind Lan Mo in an instant. His palm was like a sharp sword and he stabbed it into Lan Mo's dantian. Boom! This palm directly penetrated Lan Mo's dantian and tore apart his small world. Chapter 2362. Lu Ming's palm struck Lan Mo's dantian. The terrifying force tore Lan Mo's dantian into pieces. My Denon, my cultivation, Lano screamed hysterically, his eyes filled with despair. I said last time that if there was a next time, I would definitely kill you. Do you really think that I don't dare to kill you or that I can't kill you? Lu Ming spoke coldly, causing the despair in Lan Mo's eyes to deepen. In the despair, there was also a strong sense of fear. No, I want it. Lan Mo let out a roar. Rest in peace. Lu Ming said indifferently. He shook his palm and a terrifying force burst out. Lan Mo's body was torn into pieces. Kill! Lu Ming let out a long howl and charged towards the rest of the Lan family. Bang! A 2-star Great Emperor was almost smashed into pieces by Lu Ming's punch. He was sent flying backward, blood spurting from his mouth. He was extremely frightened. Boom! 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 Lu Ming continued to punch out. Like a tiger falling into a flock of sheep, he slaughtered his way through. 1-star Great Emperor realm experts could not withstand a single move from Lu Ming and were killed in an instant. Even though he was a 2-star Great Emperor, he was still seriously injured by Lu Ming's punch even though he was defending with all his might. As a result, Emperor Formless, Huntian, and Skyfire Emperor were free to kill several people while their opponents were heavily injured. Lu Ming! Lan Kang roared, his eyes red. Lu Ming, you're killing people from the heaven realm. Are you trying to disregard the lives of everyone in the heaven realm? They're the backbone of the fighting force against the evil god tribe. Lan Kang wanted to use this method to incite the others to unite against a common enemy and attack Lu Ming together. However, no one made a move at the moment. Lu Ming's combat strength was shocking. Disregard the lives of others? Hee, why didn't you think of this when you attacked us? Also, trash like you won't be of much use even if you're left alive. 111 Deal with the evil god tribe. Kill him, Lu Ming said coldly. He was engulfed by the dazzling light. He punched out and killed a 2-star Great Emperor who was already seriously injured. Lu Ming, you better remember this. The Lan family will not let you off. Lan Kang roared, turned around and ran. He rushed out of a tunnel and disappeared. Lan Kang actually ran away without a fight. Damn it! The remaining members of the Lan family roared in despair. The Lan family is full of such people. Lu Ming sneered and showed no mercy. With the help of Emperor Notionless and the others, the remaining members of the Lan clan were all killed in no time. Lu Ming, Emperor Formless, and the others took the Lan family's storage ring and left the place with a flash. Following that, Lu Ming and the rest continued to explore the palace. However, they did not find anything after that. During this period of time, they encountered the evil god tribe and had a huge battle. Lu Ming and the others killed more than 10 evil god tribe members and forced them to retreat. In the end, they came to the deepest part of the palace. There, they had another harvest. They had obtained some chaos stones and raw gemstones here. Most importantly, Lu Ming had obtained a rare natural treasure, divine wood liquid. Lu Ming recognized the rare spirit liquid in one of the jade bottles. He was overjoyed. This spiritual liquid contained extremely rich life essence, which was not inferior to liquid fire. If Lu Ming cultivated with it, he had a chance to break through to the middle of the 5th stage of the 7 gods mysterious technique. Initially, if Lu Ming cultivated step by step, he would need a long time to break through the middle stage of the 7 gods mysterious technique. It was not easy to cultivate an immemorial body cultivator. It was very difficult. It was the same for the cultivation of the 7 gods mysterious technique. Every breakthrough was extremely difficult. However, it would be a different story if they could obtain some rare treasures. For example, rare treasures such as liquid fire and divine wood liquid contained rich and huge life essence, which could help the body to improve and break through quickly. How could Lu Ming not be happy? As long as his 7 gods mysterious technique broke through to the middle of the 5th stage, his combat strength would increase dramatically. At that time, with the combination of his body and laws, he would be able to kill even a 4-star Great Emperor, let alone a 3-star Great Emperor. The 4 of them put away their things and left the place in a flash, heading out of the palace. They had already gained a lot from this trip. The most important thing now was to find a place to cultivate and improve their strength. In a secret chamber in the palace, Lan Kang's figure flickered and turned into a huge hand, grabbing the balls of light. These balls of light were actually fragments of the Great Tao, and there were more than 10 of them. Ah, God bless me. With these 10 Great Tao fragments, my cultivation will definitely break through to 4-star Great Emperor. Lu Ming, it will be the time of your death. Lan Kang's eyes glowed with a cold light. The 4 of them left the hall and flew into the distance. On the way, Lu Ming suddenly stopped and an array disc appeared in his hand. The 8 pits on the array board all lit up. All 8 formation discs have been found. Lu Ming's gaze flickered. All 8 array discs have appeared. It looks like a storm is coming. Emperor Wuxia said. The 8 array discs had all appeared. Next, it would be a battle between the 2 sides. Whoever won would be able to leave alive. This was bound to be a tragic battle. Let's find a place to cultivate first and let the others fight first. Right now, increasing our strength is the most important thing, Lu Ming said. Emperor Formless and the others nodded. In any case, they had an array disc in their hands, so they were not afraid that they would not be able to leave if someone else went out first. Not long after, they arrived at the peak of a mountain. This mountain peak was the highest peak in this area. Standing at the peak of the mountain peak, one could see far into the distance. They planned to cultivate on the peak of this mountain. This way, they could look into the distance, know the situation outside, and grasp the situation. They immediately divided the items they had obtained earlier. Emperor Formless and the other 2 also only took a portion of the Great Tao fragments and left the rest of the treasures to Lu Ming. After the distribution, they began to cultivate here. Lu Ming took out the divine wood liquid, poured out a portion, and began to refine it. The strength of his physical body began to increase rapidly again. However, the situation in the outside world was a little different from what Lu Ming and the rest had guessed. Both sides did not engage in a battle. Instead, they disappeared one by one, hiding themselves. During this period, after Lu Ming refined some divine wood liquid, he went out to inquire about the situation. After discovering the situation, he was a little surprised. Perhaps, everyone has gained something during this period of time. They have the same idea as us and plan to cultivate in seclusion first before annihilating the other party. Lu Ming made a guess. He walked around and returned to the mountain peak to continue washing his face. A few days later, some people came to their mountain peak. Initially, they wanted to occupy this mountain peak. However, when they saw Lu Ming and the others, their expressions changed drastically and they retreated. The news that Lu Ming had killed many of the Lan family's powerhouses in succession had spread among the people in the Heaven Realm. When the others saw Lu Ming, they naturally retreated in fear. Chapter 2363. Time flew by, and in the blink of an eye, 3 months had passed. In 3 months, Lu Ming had refined all the divine wood liquid. Phi had finally made a breakthrough in the 7 gods' mysterious technique and reached the middle of the 5th stage. At the same time, Lu Ming's physical strength also increased tremendously. Now, Lu Ming could suppress a 4-star Great Emperor with just his physical strength. With every breakthrough of the 7 gods' mysterious technique, his physical strength would skyrocket, and the increase was extremely shocking. For example, at the early stage of the 5th level of the 7 gods' mysterious technique, he could suppress an ordinary 1-star Great Emperor with his physical strength alone. Once he reached the mid-stage of the 5th level, he could suppress 4-star Great Emperors, and when he reached the late stage, he could suppress peak Great Emperors. Every time he broke through, his strength would increase explosively. Now, with the strength of his physical body and the power of the law, it would not be too difficult for Lu Ming to kill a 4-star Great Emperor. He could even fight against a 5-star Great Emperor. The time has come. With my current strength, it's enough to wipe out everyone in this formation. Lu Ming revealed a confident expression. However, the 3 emperors were still cultivating. Lu Ming was in no hurry to leave. He continued cultivating and consolidating his cultivation. On a mountain peak 10,000 miles away from Lu Ming's group, a powerful aura suddenly burst out. Buzz! A figure soared into the sky, and his aura swept in all directions like a gale. I've finally broken through. The man muttered to himself, his eyes shining with a terrifying light. This person was Lan Kong. After several months of bitter cultivation and refining a few Dao fragments, he finally broke through the bottleneck and became a 4-star Great Emperor. A 4-star Great Emperor was already a high-level Great Emperor, and his battle power had greatly increased. Lan Kang's shocking aura also alerted the people nearby. What a shocking aura! It's a 4-star Great Emperor. Lan Kang has broken through and become a 4-star Great Emperor. This is great. A 4-star Great Emperor has appeared. We can finally annihilate the evil god tribe. One voice after another was heard. Some were shocked and some were overjoyed. Before this, whether it was the evil god tribe or the heaven realm beings, the strongest was the 3-star Great Emperor. The birth of a 4-star Great Emperor would definitely break the balance and give the heaven realm an absolute advantage. Boom. However, at this moment, a terrifying aura rushed out from the distance. This aura was extremely shocking and soared into the sky like smoke. This aura was equivalent to a 4-star Great Emperor. This is someone from the evil god tribe. Someone from the evil god tribe has also broken through. On the side of the heavenly realm, someone exclaimed, his face pale. How did this happen? Lan Kang had just broken through and become a 4-star Great Emperor. He had thought that he would be able to annihilate the evil god tribe, but he didn't expect that someone from the other races had also broken through and become a 4-star Great Emperor. This made everyone's heart sink. In this case, it was hard to predict the outcome. Lan Kang's face also darkened. Someone from the alien race has also broken through to 4-star Great Emperor. I'm not sure if I can defeat him, so I have to improve my cultivation. Right, let's go and find Lu Ming. This kid has a large number of great Dao fragments. I'll sneak over, kill him, and take his great Dao fragments. Then, I'll find a place to cultivate in seclusion. When one break through to 5-star Great Emperor, one can easily deal with the alien race. Lan Kang's eyes glowed with a cold light. Now is not the time to start a war. One have just broken through and need to consolidate my strength. You all keep an eye on the movements of the foreign tribes. If there is any news, inform me immediately. Lan Kang ordered the others. Now, his cultivation had reached the 4-star Great Emperor realm, and he had become the strongest expert in the heaven realm. Naturally, he had a lofty appearance. All right, we will. The others quickly nodded, trying to please him. Now, if they wanted to leave this place alive, they could only rely on Lan Kong. Without Lan Kong, they would be slaughtered by the alien races. The non-humankind didn't attack. Apparently, they sensed Lan Kang's breakthrough and were a little afraid. Lan Kong flew rapidly toward the mountain peak where Lu Ming and the rest were. Lu Ming and the rest occupied the highest peak in the vicinity. This was already known to the others. Naturally, Lan Kong had also heard the news. Not long after, Lan Kong arrived at the mountain peak where Lu Ming and the rest were. Lu Ming, who was sitting cross-legged on the mountain peak, opened his eyes. His gaze was like the stars as he looked at Lan Kong. Lan Kong, I didn't go looking for you, but you came. Lu Ming said calmly. Lu Ming, hand over all the fragments of the great Tao that you have. Lan Kong said coldly. Let's see if you have the ability to take my Tao fragment. Lu Ming said. Is that so? Lan Kong stood in the sky with his hands behind his back, looking like he was the only one in the world. Bang. Then, Lan Kong suddenly took a step forward. As he took this step, a terrifying aura burst out from Lan Kang's body. Emperor Formless, Huntian, and Skyfire had already woken up when Lan Kong arrived. Their eyes widened in shock as they exclaimed, For Star Great Emperor! You've broken through to the 4-star Great Emperor realm. Flee! Lan Kong chuckled and looked down at Lu Ming and the rest. Lu Ming, are you in despair now? Despair? Are you talking about yourself? Lu Ming smiled, his expression calm. He did not know why, but when he saw Lu Ming's smile, Lan Kang's heart trembled for no reason. He had a bad feeling. He's just pretending to be calm. Although he's strong, he's definitely no match for a 4-star Great Emperor. Lan Kong warned himself. His cultivation had been at the limit of 3-star Great Emperor, and with the help of the Tao fragment, he had been able to break through so quickly. On the other hand, although Lu Ming's combat strength was strong, he was only a true emperor. It was impossible for him to break through to the 4-star Great Emperor realm so quickly. Lan Kong was relieved after thinking this through. Deliberately mystifying. If you don't hand it over, then 111 take it myself. Lan Kong said. Then in a flash he charged at Lu Ming. The lion's roar reverberated through the sky. Lan Kong threw a punch at Lu Ming. A purple sky lion formed and pounced at Lu Ming. Be careful! The expressions of Emperor Formless and the others changed drastically. This move again, I'm tired of seeing it. Lu Ming's faint voice was heard. He then struck out with his palm. Puchi. Lu Ming's palm was like a heavenly blade, cutting through the void. The apparition of the sky lion that Lan Kong had condensed burst like a bubble. Lan Kang's pupils contracted rapidly. Although he didn't use his full strength, he could definitely injure a 3-star Great Emperor. Given Lu Ming's ability, he should have been severely injured by his one move. However, Lu Ming had effortlessly destroyed his attack. No, something's not right. Lan Kong roared in his heart. His eyes were filled with uncertainty, and he was already thinking of retreating. Lu Ming, well, fight another day. Lan Kong shouted, turned around and ran. It's too late to leave now. Lu Ming said coldly. He cast the 6-feathered divine wings, and a pair of wings appeared on his back. Buzz. Lu Ming's muscles vibrated at least a few billion times per second. His body dashed forward at an indescribable speed. In a split second, he was close to Lan Kong. Chapter 2364. Lan Kong was shocked. He roared and unleashed his full power, launching a move at Lu Ming. However, Lu Ming threw a punch and Lan Kang's attack was destroyed. The terrifying fist force was like a storm, blasting towards Lan Kong. Gotcha! Lu Ming's fist landed on Lan Kang's fist. Lan Kang's fist exploded, turning into flesh, blood, and bones that flew everywhere. The surging fist force didn't stop, bombarding Lan Kang's body. Lan Kong screamed and his body flew hundreds of miles away, breaking a mountain peak. Lan Kong had just broken through to 4-star Great Emperor. Lu Ming was too far behind him. He could completely crush him. How is this possible? How is this possible? Lan Kong shouted hysterically, and his body was retreating crazily. At the same time, his aura erupted without any concealment, alarming the beings of the heavenly realm in the distance. In the distance, the living beings of the heaven realm discovered the commotion and rushed over. From afar they saw a shocking scene. Lan Kong was being chased by Lu Ming. "Everyone save me! Lu Ming is filled with hatred and wants to kill me!" Lan Kong roared. A faint smile hung on Lu Ming's face the entire time. He walked towards Lan Kong at a steady pace. Didn't Lan Kong want him to know what despair was? Then let him taste what despair is. What? The beings in the distant heaven realm were dumbfounded and had expressions of disbelief. Lu Ming wanted to kill Lan Kong. Didn't Lan Kong already break through to 4-star Great Emperor? How did he end up like this? How was this possible? Scream, scream. Let's see who can save you today. Lu Ming remained calm and unruffled, slowly approaching Lan Kong. "Lu Ming, you can't kill me. I've broken through to 4-star Great Emperor. I'm the main force in fighting against the evil god tribe. You can't kill me. If you kill me, everyone in the heaven realm will die." Lan Kong shouted crazily. "You're really stupid. Without you, all the people in the heaven realm will die? Where did you get your logic? Are you treating me like a decoration?" Lu Ming spoke with a strong sense of mockery. Lan Kong was tongue-tied. With Lu Ming's combat strength and Lan Kang's help, he would be able to annihilate the evil god tribe by himself. In the distance, the people from the heaven realm stopped and even changed their direction to avoid Lan Kong. That's right. Lu Ming was the only hope now. With Lu Ming, they could get out of here alive. As for Lan Kong, he could go to hell. "Everyone, Lan Kong has been targeting me time and time again. Just now, he even ran to kill me. Tell me, should I kill him?" Lu Ming looked at the heaven realm beings. Damn it. Such a despicable person deserves to die. Immediately, someone spoke up. He looked at Lan Kong with a look of disdain and then bowed to Lu Ming in an attempt to please him. "That's right, he should be killed. If it wasn't for the fact that my cultivation level is low, I would have killed him long ago." That's right, that's right. The others chimed in. What a joke. Now that Lu Ming's ability far exceeded Lan Kang's, they needed to rely on Lu Ming to survive. Naturally, they would rely on Lu Ming. As for Lan Kong, what was he? You guys? Lan Kong roared, his eyes filled with despair. Boom. Lu Ming threw a punch. The terrifying force of the punch crushed toward Lan Kong like an avalanche. Bang. Lan Kang's body was like a broken sack, flying far away and hitting a mountain peak. He spat out a large mouthful of blood and his breath was extremely weak. "Now, do you know what despair is?" Lu Ming stood on top of Lan Kang's head and said coldly. Lan Kong continued to spit out blood, the despair in his eyes growing stronger. At this moment, he was not only worried about his own life, but also for the Lan family. Lu Ming was too abnormal and he had great luck. Before they entered the Void Island, Lu Ming's abilities were only about the same as Lan Mo's. It would take a lot of effort to defeat Lan Mo. But now, he had only been on the island for 2 years, and Lu Ming's strength had soared to such an extent that he could suppress a 4-star Great Emperor. This was simply shocking. 2 years passed in the blink of an eye for a Great Emperor. A Great Emperor would need tens of thousands of years to break through a realm, or even hundreds of thousands of years. However, Lu Ming had grown to this level in just over 2 years. If he continued to grow, the Lan family would definitely be destroyed. At this moment, he really wanted to tell the Celestial the Arch of the Lan family that the patriarch of the Lan family should bury the hatchet with Lu Ming and resolve their grudges. If he could not resolve it, he would have to get rid of Lu Ming at all costs. Otherwise, in a few years, the Lan family would be the one to be destroyed. Unfortunately, he was destined to never bring these words out. "Let's go," Lu Ming said coldly. He took a step forward and a terrifying power exploded, drowning Lan Kong. Lan Kong did. Then, Lu Ming kept Lan Kang's storage ring. He scanned it with his spiritual senses and found an array disk in Lan Kang's storage ring. Who else has a formation plate? Give it to me. Lu Ming's gaze shifted to the living beings in the heaven realm. I have it. I have one. 2 beings from the heaven realm walked out, each holding a formation plate. In this way, Lu Ming had 4 array discs in his hands. It seems like the other formation discs are in the hands of the evil god tribe. It's time to leave this place, Lu Ming muttered. He then looked at Emperor Notionless and the other 2 with a smile. Beans, let's make a trip to the alien races. All right. Emperor Formless and the other 2 were excited. Lu Ming immediately took the lead and they headed in the direction where the alien races were gathering. Lu Ming went to kill the alien races. Let's go and take a look. Oh, we can go out now. The beings in the heaven realm were overjoyed and quickly followed behind Lu Ming. Soon, they arrived at the place where the foreign races gathered. Buzz! Buzz! A figure flashed in front of them. Nearly 100 alien races gathered together and looked at Lu Ming and the others. Ants from the heaven realm, you've finally come. Let's have a showdown. I'm not afraid, an extremely burly member of the evil god race said coldly. The aura around him was extremely shocking, and he was equivalent to a 4-star great emperor. Bang! Bang! Lu Ming did not stop at all when he arrived. He stepped on the void and walked toward the alien race. A little brat is actually so bold. He's really looking for death. Let me kill him. A skinny alien with 4 arms dashed toward Lu Ming. This alien race was known for their speed. In a few flashes, he had disappeared from his original spot. The next moment, 4 sharp lights suddenly appeared beside Lu Ming and slashed at his vital points. However, Lu Ming just stood there as if he did not know that someone was attacking him. Just as the 4 streaks of light were about to land on Lu Ming, he suddenly stretched out his hand and grabbed at the air. All of a sudden, all the sharpness disappeared, and a shocking scene appeared. Lu Ming grabbed the alien's neck with one hand. Chapter 2365. Lu Ming clasped the alien's neck with one hand. The alien was like a baby, struggling madly. His legs, limbs, and arms were constantly waving. His face was flushed and his eyes were bulging. A 2-star great emperor can't even withstand a single blow. Lu Ming said calmly. The heavenly realm was still fine, but the non-humans gasped. A 2-star great emperor with astonishing speed was as vulnerable as a baby in Lu Ming's hands. How was that possible? Everyone's pupils contracted, including the 4-star great emperor. It seems like you're the one who broke through to 4-star great emperor? The 4-star great emperor said. Lu Ming smiled faintly and did not comment. It was normal for the other party to think that he was that 4-star great emperor. Other than a 4-star great emperor, who else had the strength to easily take down a 2-star great emperor? Not even 3-star great emperors. Bang! Lu Ming's palm burst with force and killed the skinny alien. On the side, Emperor Formless, Huntian, and Skyfire Emperor sighed. Unknowingly, Lu Ming had already grown to such a level. Killing a 2-star great emperor was as easy as crushing an ant. This was a 2-star great emperor. In the Yuan Mountain, he would be the overlord of a region, a figure who was high and mighty and could suppress all directions. Then let's fight to the death. The 4-star great emperor non-human stepped forward. A battle axe appeared in his hand, and a powerful aura burst out. I don't want to play with you guys anymore. Let's end this. Lu Ming muttered. The muscles on his body suddenly trembled. Buzz! Lu Ming's figure burst out at a speed so fast that no one could react in time. In an instant, he was in front of the 4-star great emperor. Why would one? The non-human 4-star great emperor's pupils suddenly contracted, and he was almost scared to death. Then he used all of his power to defend. Boom! Lu Ming threw a punch and the overwhelming force of his fist blasted toward the alien in front of him. Bang! The foreign being's body was sent flying, and a large hole appeared on his body. He spat out a large mouthful of blood and his aura was weak. He had been severely injured by Lu Ming in one move. Run! The other alien races reacted and were almost scared to death. Then they turned around and ran. They understood that they had met an opponent that they couldn't defeat. Even a 4-star great emperor had been injured by a single move. If they were to face him, they would only die. Kill! Lu Ming let out a long hiss and charged forward, his fists constantly blasting out. A series of fist forces streaked through the air and headed toward the demonic humans. A few 3-star great emperors among the alien races were hit by Lu Ming's fist force. They were killed immediately and exploded in the air. Kill! Emperor Formless roared as he charged toward the alien race with Huntian Emperor and Sky Fire Emperor. Let's attack together. The other beings in the heaven realm also roared and charged toward the outsiders. They could only leave after killing all the alien races. This was a matter of life and death, so they had to use all their strength. This was a massacre without a doubt. Lu Ming seemed to have entered a no-man's land. His figure flashed continuously. Every time he flashed, a few alien races were killed by him. He then put away the alien race's storage rings. You can't escape. Lu Ming fixed his eyes on the 4 stars Great Emperor. This alien wanted to escape, but he was severely injured by Lu Ming and could not escape at all. Lu Ming rushed forward and killed the alien in 2 moves. After putting away the alien storage bracelet, he turned around and attacked the other alien races. The alien races ran for their lives, but they could not escape. Lu Ming and the rest caught up and killed them one by one. A moment later, all the alien races at the scene were killed by Lu Ming and the rest. Take a look and see if there are any formation discs in their storage bracelets. Lu Ming instructed. He took out the storage ring that he had obtained from the alien race and checked it. Without a doubt, Lu Ming had the most storage bracelets. He had a total of 50 to 60 of them. In the end, he found 3 array discs. As for the others, they had found a piece. The 8 array discs were complete. That formation spirit said that we have to kill the other side before we can leave. There might be some alien races that have escaped and are hiding somewhere. During this time, you should search everywhere and find them, Lu Ming said. The others nodded. Now, Lu Ming was undoubtedly the most powerful person. The others naturally obeyed his words. The heaven realm beings split up into groups of a few and spread out to search for the alien races that had escaped. Of course, Lu Ming could not be bothered with such matters. He found a place to cultivate and comprehend the laws in peace. Now that the Samsara law and primordial chaos law had both reached the 3rd realm, Lu Ming began to plan on comprehending other ultimate laws. Next, Lu Ming chose the eternal law and began to comprehend it. The more laws he comprehended, the more successful Lu Ming's comprehension of the laws became. It was very smooth. A few days later, he had reached the beginner level of the eternal laws. Time passed day by day, and in the blink of an eye, 3 months had passed. In the past 3 months, the people of the heaven realm had searched the entire area. As expected, there were some alien races that had escaped the net, and they had found and killed them one by one. Now, they were certain that no one from the foreign tribes had escaped. At this time, everyone gathered and flew towards the door that they had entered from. They had just arrived when that young formation spirit's figure appeared. I didn't expect you to complete my request so quickly. How boring! That formation spirit sighed. Everyone's hearts jolted. This formation spirit wouldn't go back on its word and make some strange requests, right? You won't go back on your word, will you? Lu Ming asked. Of course one won't. Although I'm bored, I'm a man of my word. Take out your array discs. The formation spirit said, curling its lips. Lu Ming waved his hand and 8 array discs appeared. The formation spirit extended a hand and pointed. A ray of light flashed, and the 8 formation discs started to shake. They emitted a brilliant light and flew towards that door. Then they flew into the door and actually fused together with it. Gotcha! The door opened. Everyone was ecstatic. Let's go! Someone was overjoyed and rushed out first. This time, there was no resistance. That person rushed out of the door and disappeared. Go, go! The rest of the people, including Lu Ming, Emperor Formless, and the others, also rushed toward the gate. When they rushed out of the door, they found that they had already left the giant tower and were outside. It's so boring. The formation spirit's voice came from the giant tower. Then the door of the giant tower closed. Deans, let's go, Lu Ming said and left the place with the 3 deans. The others also left the place. Following that, Lu Ming, Formless Emperor, Huntian Emperor, and Sky Fire Emperor headed towards the depths of the island. However, they didn't fly very far before an earth-shaking roar came from the front. The entire world shook as a terrifying aura spread out. Chapter 2366. With a roar, the sky changed color and the earth shook. A terrifying killing intent spread from the front. Lu Ming, Emperor Notionless, Huntian Emperor, and Sky Fire Emperor's expressions changed drastically. That was because the roar was so terrifying that it made people's hair stand on end. Buzz. And NBSP whoosh. Following that, Lu Ming and the rest saw streaks of rainbow light flying over at high speed from the distant sky. They were all flying over from the depths of the Void God Island. There was an expert in each of the rainbow lights. Each of them was very terrifying, and none of them was weaker than Lan Kong. This meant that these people were all advanced great emperors. Some of them had extremely terrifying auras, which made Lu Ming feel apprehensive. Peak Emperor. Lu Ming could tell that a few of them had already reached the Peak Emperor realm. There were Heaven Realm beings and Evil God race beings among them. But now, these people seemed to have encountered something terrifying and were fleeing at high speed. Another roar came from the depths of the island. Then, a huge creature appeared in the sky. A giant white tiger stood on the ground. Its back was taller than the mountains. With a roar, the mountains exploded. Even though they were far away, Lu Ming and the others could feel a terrifying pressure coming from it. Could it be the white tiger, one of the legendary divine beasts of the Four Directions? Emperor Formless cried out in alarm. What? The divine beasts of the Four Directions. The expressions of Lu Ming and the rest changed drastically. The four divine beasts, the four legendary divine beasts, the Azure Dragon, the Vermilion Bird, the White Tiger, and the Black Tortoise. It was said that the four divine beasts were very ancient divine beasts in the Heaven Realm. They were extremely powerful and were no weaker than the top 10 battle beasts. They were on the same level as the top 10 battle beasts. There were legends of the divine beasts of the Four Directions everywhere. There were even divine beasts of the Four Directions that appeared, but those weren't the four of them in the legends. They only had the bloodline of the four divine beasts. Now, could it be that one had really appeared? Impossible. The true divine beasts of the Four Directions aren't any weaker than the top 10 battle beasts. Although this one is powerful, it's not that powerful. Lu Ming's expression changed. The white tiger's roar was like thunder. Its four limbs stomped on the ground, causing mountains to collapse and rocks to shake the sky. Its huge body rushed towards the fleeing experts. Its eyes turned silver, and two silver sword lights slashed out. A shrill scream was heard. An existence that was at least a 5-star great emperor was killed by the two sword lights in the air. He couldn't resist at all. Let's go! Lu Ming roared, turned around, and ran away with Emperor Wu Xiang and the rest. However, the people behind them, as well as the white tiger, were astonishingly fast. The distance between them was constantly closing. How unlucky! Lu Ming, Emperor Notionless, and the other two sighed in their hearts. They had just escaped from the formation, and they had already encountered such a terrifying white tiger. They were truly too unlucky. We don't want to go in the same direction as those people. Emperor Formless called out. There must be a reason why the white tiger was chasing those people. They immediately changed their direction and rushed to the side. It was risky to do so. Once the white tiger set its eyes on them, it would be easier for it to catch up to them. However, they had no other choice now. With their strength, they couldn't outrun the 5-star great emperors, 6-star great emperors, and even peak great emperors. If he continued to run and was caught by the white tiger, he would probably be killed with a single slap. They could only take the risk. They had made the right bet. The white tiger let out a long roar and did not target them. Instead, it was chasing after the few strongest experts. Lu Ming and the rest did not stop. They ran for a distance before they stopped. At this moment, the white tiger had already run far away while chasing the others. It seems that the white tiger has its eyes on the strongest people. I guess those people have offended the white tiger. Huntian Emperor speculated. I didn't expect that there would be such a terrifying white tiger on this island. This white tiger's strength is definitely above the Great Emperor realm. Could it be an existence of the Heavenly Emperor realm? Emperor Wuxia said. Their expressions were grave. Heavenly emperors could not enter the island. If the white tiger was really at the Heavenly Emperor stage, it would be terrifying and invincible. Immediately, they left the place and headed into the distance, wanting to get as far away from the white tiger as possible. However, a few hours later, their expressions changed drastically. That was because a shrill cry came from ahead. It was extremely sharp and pierced through time and space. A large group of people ran for their lives. Some were from the heaven realm, and some were from the evil god race. And behind these people, a huge phoenix spread its wings and chased after them. Vermilion bird. Lu Ming and the other three looked at each other, their voices hoarse. First, he saw the white tiger, and now he saw the vermilion bird. Could it be that the four divine beasts had all appeared? Let's go! Without any hesitation, the four of them turned around and ran. This time, they were experienced and ran in the other direction. As expected, the vermilion bird was specifically targeting the strongest group. Not long after, they successfully escaped. The white tiger and the vermilion bird have both appeared. What's happening in the depths of the island? Lu Ming and the other three were full of doubts. Next, they found a hidden place to hide. For the next few days, they would hear terrifying roars from time to time. It was only after a few days that the roars disappeared. At this moment, they came out of their hiding place and met some experts. Many of them were advanced great emperors. They asked the other party, and as expected, they knew a lot. In the past few years, the great emperor of the heaven realm and the great emperor of the evil god tribe had been wandering around the void god island, killing and searching for treasures. Even though the void god island was huge, it had been almost completely searched over the past few years. Some time ago, everyone had discovered a hidden place. That place was suspected to be the core of the Void God Island, and it was very likely to be the place where the master of the Void God Island would truly preach his Tao. This discovery was amazing. The master of the Void God Island was a figure who should have surpassed the Heavenly Emperor. If this was really the place where he taught Tao, he would probably have an incredible opportunity. Many powerhouses gathered and planned to enter the place to explore. However, there were 4 terrifying divine beasts guarding the place, which were exactly the same as the legendary divine beasts of the 4 directions. However, their combat strength was not as strong as the 4 legendary divine beasts. They should have barely reached the Heavenly Emperor realm. Even if they managed to reach the Heavenly Emperor realm, they were not something that a great emperor could fight against. The 4 divine beasts went on a rampage, causing a large number of experts from the heaven realm and the evil god tribe to fall. The remaining people were chased around by the 4 divine beasts. This was the reason why Lu Ming and the rest had encountered that scene earlier. Right now, the 4 divine beasts are roaming in the depths of the island. All the experts have retreated to the depths of the island. They don't dare to go in anymore, or it'll be extremely dangerous. A high-level great emperor sighed. Lu Ming sighed in his heart. Originally, after his battle prowess had improved greatly, he had planned to go to the Void God Island to try his luck. It seemed like he could only cancel this plan and stay in the outer region of the Void God Island. There must be some opportunities in that core area. Right now, there are many experts hiding in the outer regions of the Void God Island, waiting for an opportunity to strike. The expert left another sentence and then left. Chapter 2367. Lu Ming could only give up on the idea of entering the Void God Island. They found a hidden place and hid, planning to cultivate in peace here. To Lu Ming, who was at his current stage, it was a great opportunity for him to comprehend the laws here. It could save him a lot of time. Even if he could not get any other opportunities, Lu Ming was satisfied. Lu Ming was comprehending the laws in peace, while Emperor Formless and the others were focused on refining the fragments of the Great Tao, hoping to take a step further and become 3-star Great Emperors. Time passed day by day. During this period, Emperor Formless, Huntian, and Skyfire Emperor would take turns to go out and gather information and investigate the current situation. Right now, on the island, whether it was the Heaven Realm beings or the foreign race experts, they were all like them. They had all hidden themselves and did not dare to move. That was because there were 4 terrifying godly beasts in the depths of the island. 2 of them were guarding the core area, while the other 2 were wandering around. Once they discovered any living being from the Heaven Realm or the evil god race, they would immediately start a massacre. Therefore, it was impossible for those powerhouses to have any ideas about the core area. As for Lu Ming, he cultivated in peace and did not care about anything else. To Lu Ming, the Void Island was more useful than any cultivation sanctuary. Where else could he find such a good cultivation sanctuary after leaving the Void Island? However, there was one thing that Lu Ming would not forget. That was the Celestial Emperor's corporeal body. Previously, in the giant tower, Lu Ming had killed a large number of evil god tribe members. There were 50 to 60 of them. The evil god race's storage rings were all in his hands. These evil god race members were all Emperor Realm figures. There were large amounts of black crystals in their storage rings. Furthermore, they were of extremely high quality and contained powerful energy. Although it was difficult for the beings in the Heaven Realm to absorb these crystals, the Celestial Emperor's body could absorb and store energy. Lu Ming diverted some of his attention to control the Celestial Thearch's physical body to absorb the energy of these crystals and store them. Just like that, time flew by. Spring went and autumn came. 5 years had passed in the blink of an eye. This could be said to be the longest closed-door cultivation Lu Ming had ever done since he started cultivating. Lu Ming had gained a lot from this closed-door cultivation. Lu Ming had cultivated the Eternal Law, the Void Law, and the Space-Time Law to the 3rd level. However, the remaining 2 of the top 10 laws, the Law of Fate and the Law of Cause and Effect, were very difficult to cultivate. The Law of Fate was extremely mysterious and difficult to grasp. Lu Ming had tried a few times but could not get a grasp of it. As for the laws of cause and effect, normally only people from the Buddhist faction could comprehend it. Buddhism emphasized the cycle of karma. Without that state of mind, it was very difficult to comprehend. However, Lu Ming had already cultivated the 8 types of ultimate laws to the 3rd realm. His comprehension of the laws had reached an astonishing level. With his amazing comprehension, Lu Ming had managed to gain a basic understanding of the laws of karma. Not only that, but Lu Ming had also comprehended other king path laws in the past 5 years. For example, Lu Ming had cultivated a total of 3 laws to the 3rd level, including the Law of Eternal Flame, the Law of Vajra, and the Law of Kings, which were required to cultivate the indestructible ancient scroll. Furthermore, Lu Ming had spent a lot of time to merge these laws and develop them into a divine power. In 5 years, not only had he comprehended 3 strongest nomological laws and 3 king path nomological laws to the 3rd realm, but he had also managed to turn them into divine powers. This was definitely impossible in the outside world. It would probably take more than 100 years. But here he had done it in 5 years. Now, Lu Ming already had 17 types of laws and had reached the 3rd realm. The power of the 17 types of laws fused together was shocking. However, there was not much improvement in Lu Ming's combat strength. The main thing was that Lu Ming's current physical realm was too high. He could suppress a 4-star Great Emperor with his physical body alone. In the Great Emperor realm, the further one advanced, the stronger one was, and the greater the gap between them. However, nomological laws were just nomological laws. They couldn't be compared to the Great Tao, no matter how many nomological laws there were. Lu Ming might be able to rely on a large number of laws to challenge 1-star Great Emperors or even 2-star Great Emperors. However, it would be very difficult to challenge them with laws alone as he advanced. Unless Lu Ming could use these laws to break through to the Great Emperor realm and evolve them into Great Taos, the power would increase dramatically. However, Lu Ming had no intention of breaking through to the Great Emperor realm now. At the very least, he wanted to cultivate all 10 of his ultimate maxims to the 3rd realm. He could even cultivate even more of his King Path laws to the 3rd realm. When he broke into the Great Emperor realm, his great Tao would be shocking. Lu Ming found it hard to imagine, and he was filled with anticipation. Therefore, Lu Ming estimated that if he went all out now, he should be able to suppress an ordinary 5-star Great Emperor, but he would definitely not be a match for a 6-star Great Emperor. As for the Celestial Thearch's body, it had absorbed a large amount of the evil god tribe's black crystals and had been filled with energy a long time ago. That's right, the energy stored in the Heavenly Emperor's corporeal body had reached 100%. Now, with the corporeal body, it was enough to compete with a peak Great Emperor. Buzz. At this time, a figure flickered over. It was Emperor Notionless. He had gone out to inquire about news earlier. With the return of Emperor Formless, Huntian Emperor and Skyfire Emperor also opened their eyes. Everyone, there's important news outside. Emperor Formless said hurriedly as soon as he returned. What news? Lu Ming was interested. During this period of time, the powerhouses from the Heaven Realm and the Evil God Tribe have reached an agreement. They plan to join forces to deal with the 4 divine beasts and enter the core area. Emperor Wuxia said, Join forces? The 4 divine beasts have reached the Heavenly Emperor realm. Even the weakest Heavenly Emperor is far more powerful than a Great Emperor. Even if the 2 of them join forces, they can't be a match for a Heavenly Emperor. The Skyfire Emperor was suspicious. That's right. However, this matter has already alerted the various Celestial Emperors outside the island. The Celestial Emperors here in the Heaven Realm are planning to send 2 Heaven Dao soldiers to kill the 4 divine beasts. Emperor Wuxia said, Heaven Dao soldiers. Lu Ming and the rest widened their eyes in shock. What a huge investment to actually support 2 Heaven Dao soldiers. Clearly, the various Heavenly Emperors outside the Void God Island placed great importance on the core region of the Void God Island. It said that the Heavenly Emperors borrowed them from a few peerless powerhouses. The Heavenly Emperor powerhouses of the Evil God Tribe also took out a few combat weapons of the same level to deal with a few divine beasts. Emperor Wuxia said, When do we make our move? Lu Ming asked. In at most half a month. Right now, the Heaven Realm and the Evil God Tribe's powerhouses are discussing their plan of action. Emperor Wuxia said. Lu Ming muttered to himself. In the end, he decided to make a trip. He couldn't miss the core area. The 4 divine beasts' combat strength had barely reached the level of a Celestial Emperor. If multiple peak Great Emperors activated the Heaven Dao soldiers, they might be able to kill the 4 divine beasts and enter the core area. Lu Ming's combat strength was not weak to begin with. His ability to survive was even stronger. Furthermore, he had the Celestial Thearch's physical body. It was not impossible for him to try his luck. Lu Ming, if you're going, you must be careful. Emperor Formless and the others warned. With Emperor Formless and the others' cultivation, they definitely couldn't go. Anyone below the level of a high-level Great Emperor would only be courting death. You're tuning in to the Han Li's Immortal Journey YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.